5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Bonifay Banter Podcast.
Oh yeah, episode 5, Bonifay Banter. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a heater today. Longtime friend, industry legend, photographer. I could go on and on. Modern day helicopter pilot. Ladies and gentlemen, Joey Meddock. Let's clap it up. Let's open a beer to that one right there.
Well,
We got Shane in the studio as well. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
It's going to be a fun one, man.
It is.
Yeah, we definitely need a Joey. We were just talking about the first time Henshaw. Joey didn't know about Wizard staff sticks, where when you drink a beer, you stack it up, tape them together. Henshaw had a Wizard staff party, and Joey, what'd you do?
I showed up in a wizard outfit.
Damn, not even as a joke.
Right? No, not at all. Yeah,
But you're not a stranger to showing up in some awesome outfits. Like, your Halloween costumes have always been pretty on point.
Definitely a fan of ridiculous Halloween costumes.
Yeah.
Or
You're always a dresser upper. You're
Random
a
occasions.
bit of a goof. You're a bit of a goofer.
Yeah, totally. You gotta appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had a legitimate Halloween bin of stuff.
Yeah.
But I was moving around so much I had to toss it. You can only take so much stuff.
You did not throw it away.
I couldn't keep taking it and lugging it around, and so which is funny because Murray's like, oh, I got a Halloween. I know, I can totally relate to you.
Oh, Murray could use a
He's
lot.
like, I got a bin full of costumes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I lost a lot of good ones.
Murray would make a handful of YouTube videos out of just dressing up and wakeboarding and some stuff.
I could safely say that I won't be able to run for president ever.
that's out of the
because of some of my Halloween costumes.
Yeah, there's been some really good ones.
What I liked about your Halloween outfits is that they were always in disguise to where, like, I mean, sometimes you knew it was Joe, but like sometimes he just like you went like hard in the paint on the face aesthetics to become an old person to where like your face. I've known Joe for fucking 20 years and I can look at him right in the face and not know it's Joe.
Yeah.
And he would go downtown and we would all be partying downtown and you would just randomly show up at the bar and just start fucking with people so bad.
I forgot about this. Me, Nevin, and his friend James, before Halloween, it was like a downtown party for Nevin. And we all went downtown like early October as the old people. I think it was the first time we debuted it.
The old people outfit.
It was me and Evan were old dudes, and then James was the smallest guy, so he was a chick.
And this is before Bad Grandpa. This is before this is before any of the old like basketball players kind of like coming in school and the young kids. Kind of ahead of its time.
Oh, I've lost the screen. We're off to a great start early on.
So, but yeah, we had, and then so we did the old people for like 3 years in a row. Mike Annan was in town one year, and it was such a success. We're like, we got to do this again. And I remember,
did you do it, Mike?
Yeah, Mikey did it one time.
Colin, you didn't. Colin was a good old person.
It was messy, Mikey too. He was on another level. And I remember going. What was Dishman's bar's name downtown? White. It was like a
Sky Club.
Yeah, Sky Club upstairs. And I remember standing next to Barley at the bar, and he didn't know who I was, and I wasn't talking, just to stay in character. And and he's like, "Man, who the fuck is this guy?" And like I wouldn't talk, and just kept messing with him. It's so funny, and he never got a laugh out of it, but
No,
I had a good time.
Shane, you all right there?
No, I lost the
You can take a
screen.
time
We're
out.
up at like
Jesus.
Vizio now. It's we've lost it. It's all right. It was my fault. I was trying to pull up Joe as an old man. So just go to that HDMI
That
too
was
while
my,
we give a little plug to.
That was my.
There we go. We're back. But yeah, I really
Let's
did
just
love
get-
That was my Einstein costume.
Sorry.
Real mustache. My Einstein. That was a fun one too.
So that wasn't even the old man one I was looking at.
No, that was kind of like a hybrid.
No one would know
time.
who the hell you were. You would just walk up to a bar and you would just fuck with like anyone. Like I could see him like right in front of me. I wouldn't know it was Joe. And one time you were with the leotard, like the solid leotard. That was like the
colors.
That was like one big spandex like gummy.
That was the year we were colors. Were you color, Shane?
I wasn't a color. I think it was
There was like 6 of us, all different colors. I was black.
there was Harrington,
red.
Clay, I think Jimmy,
Yep.
you, I don't know. I think there's like 4 or 5 of you, but it was really funny because you guys would just run around and do like this the whole time.
But yeah, so it was red, orange, black, nude color.
Yeah, the Skittles.
And then the only thing we had on were shoes.
Yeah, the shoes.
And we had our IDs in our
Packing
in our
sauce.
shoe. Totally. Yeah, we had our IDs in our shoe. And then and it was a full zip up mask so you could see through. So you couldn't see, and then full fingered gloves. I actually just found that. I'm like, I can't get rid of this thing.
That one's good. What color were you?
I was black, and it'd be fun to do it again if everyone's black because you
Yeah.
just disappear, and you could like hide behind stuff and like scare the shit out of people. It was super fun. Like you'd be standing right next to someone they couldn't see you because you look like a shadow.
Yeah.
You almost got to assign the colors because you can't let them pick because you're going to have like 5 motherfuckers trying to be all wanting to be Mr. Black.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what would be fun too. And then
That's my reservoir line.
And then this is back when downtown was safer than it is now, but we would just run full speed to like bar to bar as colors. And so it was really fun. That was a fun year.
Oh man, me and Shane were talking like before you got here, man. Just like we watched your 20 years of photos, and if, we're gonna watch this like later on in the episode, but like it is insane the body of work that you have, like, and it's just photo, and you see all the covers, all the companies you shot for, everywhere you went, all over the world, and it's just an impressive portfolio of photos, all packed into like it's probably like 4 or 5 minutes long.
Yeah, a couple minutes. I obviously couldn't put everything in there. I wanted to get it on one song, and then and I can't find all this stuff anymore. So it's a cool clip because even today I was like trying to find photos and advertisements and stuff. I'm like, I don't know where these are. I've had hard drives crash, and so I made that edit, and I'm like, thank God I had this edit because then
You've probably
like all
archived probably more like better than most, probably. Like,
yeah, a lot of your success in photography is staying organized, and I did 10 years on film, and then I did 10 years digital. And when it was film, it's on slides, and then I'd put it in 3-ring binders on a bookshelf, weed through the bad stuff, keep the good ones. I still have a bunch of binders. And then when it came to digital, like you shoot a little sloppier because you just sit on the trigger. There's a lot more editing, but then you got to, where are you going to put all these files on the computer? So your organization has to be really on point. And Rodrigo's probably got some good tips because he still does it. But I would organize people by name. And so I opened the Shane folder, Parks folder, and then it would go by date. And so I would remember, who the person is. I'm like, I think that was in February I shot him. And then I have a place to go where I could look. And then hopefully the files were named properly, or they're just
otherwise you're just like a needle in a
weeds.
haystack.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's hard to find stuff.
and there's so many hard drives, I'm sure. Like I'm running into it, and I've only been back filming for like 5-6 years now, and I'm already stacked up on hard drives. So I can't imagine 20 years of, 10 years of slides, which takes up more room than hard drives. But even just 20 years of photos on hard drives is just got to be insane. Like so many.
Yeah, well, actually, I think this is a good time to do our first Patreon question. This is the first time we pre-recorded the first 4 episodes, but this is the first one. We got Patreon questions coming in. So this one's from Garrett Cortez, and it's on the topic that we're talking about right now. And Garrett says, make sure you put some captured up in the YouTube episode because it's you're such a legend to Garrett, and he says that you inspired him to get into shooting. So
cool.
Big
Thanks,
influence on Garrett. With that said, he wants to know, how long did it take you to scan all the slides for captured? Because today it would be insane. Even if you shot digitally, it'd be hard to do that, but you did it in 2005. Like, walk us through how insane that was.
I don't even know what year it was. Yeah, it would take the whole DVD is not that long, but it was all slide film before digital. And so if I had a sequence of somebody, and the sequence would basically show motion, and I would scan one slide at a time to show you, I don't know, a second of a guy doing a trick.
Oh, split seconds.
Every
Yeah.
individual one, you would do a full scan of that slide.
Yep, put it in there, put it in the little machine, the slide scanner. It was probably like, I remember it gone one way and then scanned back the other way. It probably took like 3, 4, or 5 minutes per slide.
And you're doing this
Jesus.
for a sequence.
Yeah.
And that's just a second and a half of capture.
Usually like a sequence would fit on a page of like the little plastic page where you put the slides in, and I think it holds 20 frames. So to do that those 20 frames would be, I don't know, an hour at least of scanning.
And for those new riders that don't even know about Captured was this video that Joey did that was, I would say maybe 60 or 70% photos and 30% video, but it was like the video.
I thought you were going to say years old. 60
What?
years ago?
No.
Like
No, but do you think it was like 60-30? Like it was more photos than it was video, but there was video, and he had his buddy Nevin there that would actually shoot a lot of video and behind the scenes of like the shoots that they would
like a
do.
dad cam kind of.
Yeah, and it was just like this really cool thing where you not only got to see the photo shoot, but you saw the photos, and it was like with really good writers on covers, and just it was edited amazing because it's hard to do video and photos in an edit together without it seeming like
to make it flow and kind of
yeah,
just
to
like
have this
rhythm,
fluidity to
yeah,
it. Yeah. And I remember watching it and just like whenever you first brought it out, I was like, whoa, like the style of it was different than every other wakeboarding video because it was, 60-70% photos, but it was so well done and so much effort.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun to make at the time. Obviously, I didn't have anything to do, so it took up a lot of time. And then I would pick, to answer Garrett's question, I would pick like a folder of whoever I had the most photos of, and I'm like, oh well, I can make a cool edit out of this guy. Both of you guys had tons of photos because we've done so many trips together. And then, but yeah, it was a huge time suck, but I really enjoyed making it. I got some pretty good feedback from it, and that's kind of what got me into editing. And then everybody liked how it was edited, and then that turned into more jobs down the road doing Welcome and Blacklist. And
right.
a couple other things. And now I do YouTube stuff, so
I just can't believe you individually scanned. This is like hand picking grits, guys. This is like insane. Like you're individually scanning this and then putting them in a timeline to make like an hour plus long video. To where if you did this today, you could just shoot a sequence, group it, bring it in, put in a little thing in Premiere saying, I want a half second on each photo, drag and drop, and it's already in there.
Yeah,
like for what you could do in like 2 minutes nowadays, it probably took you like 2.5 weeks to do, like, or 2.5 months. Like,
yeah,
it's bonkers.
I would never do that again. But so
I'll never do it again.
if you took one frame that you scanned and you brought it into Final Cut, was what I used at the time, it would give me like 5 seconds of that one frame. I'm like, well, I need
5 seconds.
I need to trim that down.
So
you're
0.05.
So you're trimming that one down, cropping it. I don't think I did color adjustment back then.
Nah.
Times 20 slides.
At that point,
shrinking them. Now you hit spacebar and see if it looks like motion. And this is back then when you had to render everything in Final Cut.
Yeah.
And like,
I know good renders.
You're like, oh, that was too fast or that's too slow, and then it's like, go, clean the dishes and come back and check
BRR.
It yep.
Yeah.
BLR.
Yeah. You BRR.
So, but yeah, it was fun to do. It took forever, but.
It was really cool.
And then back then you did video premieres and stuff. I think we did one somewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was when did you start? Like, I mean, I know we've been around and we've been shooting for ever since us and the Pointless crew, and everybody was like really young.
Yeah,
but
we were saying
what made you pick up the camera, and then when did you sort of realize you could do that for a living?
So I was working at SeaWorld, wakeboarding out there, blew out my knee. And then I was laid up for a year.
How'd you blow it out?
As you guys know, doing a tantrum.
Solid. Tantrum's body count on or knee count is pretty high.
No, I was not in the air at all, but missed the double up. And it was like at SeaWorld, just choppy. Everyone hit a roller on the landing and just blew out ACL, MCL, PCL, just completely exploded.
Blew out D, all of the above.
Yeah, all of the above. And then, so I wasn't working, but now I was on workman's comp from SeaWorld. Bought a camera. Knew everybody at the magazine. I think it was Tony Smith at the time, Wakeboard Mag. He's like, hey, go shoot we're doing the sequence issue. They used to do that. Go shoot a sequence. And I got my first sequence of Ryan Wolf, like shooting from the boat, doing just a basic pan. And within like 30 days of buying a camera, I got published. But kind of like I knew the right people type of stuff.
Well, yeah, but still, it's like
so I was like, sweet, and I was like, I got a check off of that.
Right,
I got like $8
right away.
Like $8.
So I was like, and then I would always put the money back into gear and stuff versus like using on other stuff. So it expanded from there, and then I had a streak going for years, being published in every issue
for the sequence one, or just like
for
every,
like wakeboarding,
every issue,
and then Alliance, and
Blue Torch, just like every issue.
SBC was at Canada Wakeboard Mag,
Were there months that you were like, I don't think I'm even getting a photo, like I haven't turned in enough, or there wasn't anything good I shot, and then out of nowhere you're like,
oh yeah,
they
you
had
surprise
one.
yourself. Yeah, they would hoard stuff a little bit,
Yeah.
they'd keep stuff, and then they'd use it. And I always told Rodrigo, like when we were growing up, like just keep pressing the button, like just keep shooting, like don't stop and
Throw it all against the
keep
wall.
keep feeding the machine, and
Right.
the checks keep showing up.
It's a good, cool goal to have, though. I want a photo in every, like, in every issue.
Yeah,
and
and
then once
that-
it gets going, it like makes you probably work for it.
And then 10, 20 years down the road, 15, I guess, when we started the standard, that kind of came about because Lecce and myself were almost every editorial spread, every ad was the two of us. And we're like, why don't we just start our own magazine?
So
Like
yeah.
we're giving them a lot of money. Like,
But wasn't
maybe we
it?
can do this ourselves. So.
Was there a bit of like, I don't want to say animosity towards the magazines, but was it like,
Oh, they hated
you guys
us.
aren't doing it right? Because I mean, if they're paying you every issue, you know what I mean. So they were like, and you were maybe, was there like a little grudge towards the magazine? Like, we can do it better. Like, you're not running the right photos. Like, there's better photos from that photo shoot, and you guys are running this like one that I didn't like. And
Oh yeah, I was pretty vocal about telling people that it sucked.
yeah,
I imagine Lecce is
and-
pretty passionate about his. Like,
he's
so-
pretty quiet. But, I mean, I'd stick my head out there. But yeah, the quality and how you portrayed the sport was important to me, and we felt that the magazines were their formula was 80-20. It was 80% advertising, 20% content. Well, we want to do the opposite of that. Like, there needs to be more content and less advertising.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then quality of advertising. And Paul O'Brien even had an ad, I think it was Ronix, and we denied it. And he's like, what do you mean you're not taking
Really?
it? I'm like, because it sucks. Like, this is, and he's like, you're not going to take our money? I'm like, no. And he was like, he was kind of blown away. And I'm like,
Well, I mean, that was a new kind of what that was. You probably wanted to draw a line in the sand of like we want to take a lot of priority like into our like the quality of the ads and kind of stuff.
And the,
like
the word, the standard meant like this was the
standard.
baseline. This
Yeah,
should,
kind of-
this should be the quality that.
and really that's the whole
represents.
motivation on why you like solely kind of started it to begin with. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I remember when the standards started, I was like, I thought it was great because you guys were, you know, you were on the side of wakeboarding, not the side of, you know, doing a company and trying to sell magazines and stuff. It was like we are bringing, like, even just to the quality of the book and like the pages, like
Yeah,
the
the
pages are
paper.
thick, or like it was everything, and it was obviously very, very high quality.
definitely had a surfer's journal kind of
Exactly.
like kind of
Yeah.
like
So we were inspired by Surfer's Journal, Snowboard Journal.
right.
Water, was that one back in the day?
Yeah, I
Remember
think
that?
so. Yeah.
They're all very similar, kind of square format, better paper quality, better photography, better advertisements, the whole thing. So we got our ass handed to us in 2008. The economy fell out, and that pretty much put the dagger in
Damn.
that. So all of our advertising pulled out, and then we got stuck with some high bills and had to stop it. But
Damn. So do you think so? Do you think it was the economy and kind of like what happened then on why it kind of like fell out, or do you think it was because like, print didn't really go away right then, did it? That was
No,
kind
it
of a
still
little
had-
bit later. Print was still kind of like prevalent then.
I mean, we would have had to shut it down eventually. There's no print now, obviously, but
Right.
But it had some legs still. If 2008 didn't happen, we were on a good pace. And
Damn.
there's-
So it's just bad time and kind of
Pretty much, yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
And how long was it? When did you
It
start?
was
in
2
this?
years. It was 2 years
2
old.
years?
So 2000, yes, 26, 2006.
Did 5
2008.
issues a year, or what was it?
We did. It was quarterly, so we did
Standard
4
quarterly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't just me. Just to make that clear, it was myself, Letchworth, and James Croswick was the designer.
No, I'm not knocking that Letchworth. I knew it was you, both you boys, and that's when you would, like, as a wakeboarder too, you would feel good about being in that and shooting with you guys at that time, because you'd also know that these photos weren't going towards the magazine. Like if you did do a shoot with you, Alechi, you were like, I know that this is going to the standard, and I like that because I know that this is going to be high quality. It was, you know, well
Yeah.
appreciated, and it was like, you know, it was for the heads of wakeboard. It wasn't like this mass, you know, whatever, just find it. It was for the real heads of
Yeah.
wakeboarding.
Man, and it really pisses me off that like the timing was, because I feel like that was so important to wakeboarding at the time, to have it just like go away because of just bad timing in the economy and shit. Like that just kind of like never really hit me like that. But that kind of just that's frustrating to think that you did
tell
it.
me about it.
That everything's yeah. Tell you about it. And and Garrett had another Patreon question that is actually on this topic too, and it is finances aside, what was the hardest part about running the Standard?
I mean, it was commitment. Every time we had the file and we went to print, myself and James stayed at the printer all night long, and we watched every spread come off the printer because the colors could get messed up, or it's called registration, where something's not lined up right, and we'd make them do it again. And then once you get it right, it's like, okay, print off a gazillion copies or however many we had going.
So you just quality control the shit out of it, and then when it's good, you send it.
We'd sit in the lobby and we had pillows and waiting for the printer guy to come out. They run all night long. He's like, all right, I got another spread ready. Come check it. And then thumbs up or down, make adjustments, and then spit them out again. Page by page, we had like maybe 100 pages or something.
Yeah, they were thick.
And so they were every night. And then it's like, cool, we finalized the printing process. Then they would bind it. They'd stack them. Pretty cool to watch it all come to life. And then they'd call you like, all right, your prints are ready. Drive out there in the truck and then put this pallet on the truck and then just slammed driving down I-4 with all these. Each one's a pound, each book.
Right, yeah.
Each box held 35, so 35 pounds per box. And then we had a pallet
Oh my god, dude.
of each.
Do you have a forklift?
Yeah, they'd forklift it. They'd stick it on the truck. They're like, "You sure you want to do this?" We're like, "Yeah, we do it every month, every
Slam
2 months." There's no suspension in the truck.
Just busted.
Driving from Lake Mary back to, we had a warehouse at the time, and we dropped it at the warehouse.
That's so good. I love that.
It was so that was probably the hardest part, to be honest.
Damn, thanks Garrett for the questions. Those are both
Yeah.
really good questions. Appreciate that, and I'm glad we got that insight on the Standard right there. Joey actually brought he didn't buy these, but he brought a whole stack of he brought a whole stack of Standard the pretty much the collection except for one.
There's two missing now.
Two missing in there.
I ran out of time. I was going to climb up in the attic and get them,
But we are going to be giving these away in the spin and wins, not on this episode, but like episodes to come. We're going to be giving these away. So Joey, we appreciate you donating them to the Banter Cave for future giveaways, man, because these are actually relics and wakeboarding history and just the most quality print that you're going to see.
Yeah, beautiful coffee table book. It's like you're
100%
gonna
well said.
if you love some wake, you're gonna get this thing, and it's it's a gem in history where you're just like, whoa, it's nice.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I had to dust them off. I was like, oh, we can give these to the podcast and give them away. So.
Yeah, no, we appreciate
go to
you
a good
bringing
home.
those things in.
Hey, Joe, when you talked about shooting digital and film, because you were I've talked with Bear about this too, and he's kind of like articulated like the way he felt about this and stuff. But like what did you feel like when you shot film forever and then digital first came out? Because I'm sure everyone was like pretty psyched on how the user friendliness of being able to just stack a card. But like as like you're a quality control freak. You just explain yourself on like what you would go through with a Standard to making sure like the quality is perfect. Like what did you feel about film compared to digital in the beginning? Like maybe about the quality of it, because you've already talked about like kind of like how you can like stack a card and organize it and bring it into editing and stuff. But like what, as a photographer, what was that like in the beginning transitioning?
I was very anti.
Very anti.
I'm like, this is cheating. You're like taking the purity out of it. And like some of the fun and suspense in shooting film is you don't know what it looked like.
The waiting.
Yeah.
And the fun I had to go to the Harmon Photo and pick up your film was like, it was a cool day. My process was I would shoot in the morning, catch sunrise. Lunchtime, I'm either picking up or dropping off. I'd shoot again at night and then repeat the next day. Rip out the wakeboard mag, drop stuff.
That's so
I had
sick.
this cycle going. And that I'm like, man. And so I was very anti-digital, and I should have converted sooner because I was just, there's no reason to be against
You're
it.
just
Hard-headed
Joe.
Pretty much.
Little there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the digital wasn't that great either.
Yeah, it got better to the point where it's actually
it's crazy.
Good,
so
Well, that's what I was going to. That's the second part of it. Like I was going to, the things that you hated in the beginning, do they hold up today, or did digital kind of fix it?
Oh no, it's
like
changed. It's night and day different from when we started, or when digital started. And another thing too, like I did 10 years film and I did 10 years digital. I made all my money shooting film. Digital was like, well, everybody can do this, and now you got 1,000 photographers shooting.
Right.
And you had to know what you were doing with film. And and so when I look back at it, I'm like, this first 10 years is when I made the best money. If you want to,
I mean, even with well, not video, but actual film, like wakeboard, like with Mark Baim and Ron and those guys at the beginning, it was film. Like
Artie,
you didn't,
everyone.
yeah. So it was the same. It was the same anticipation of being like, I don't know if we got it. You know what I mean? Like maybe it could have been a little overexposed but we don't know. And you never would know until your section came out, months later, like almost a year later. And then you would be like, yeah, that was sick. Like you would forget what you shot. Keep your fingers crossed. You would forget what you shot because you would shoot just one day and then those people would just disappear and they wouldn't, it's not like you would be able to just pull it up on the computer and be like, I was a little shaky or I was a little whatever. Like,
well, the other element too is the lab could fuck it up.
Yeah, lab.
And then you shot, you did the first 1080 or something. You shot on a film. You might not see that because they could screw it up.
Couldn't you even like load it wrong and stuff? Like, I mean, maybe that's more like 16 mil, like changing under hoods and stuff. Maybe like.
Yeah, when you load it, I would click off a couple frames. You can hear it advance. You can feel it in your hand too.
Would those always bleed light into them or something?
Yeah, so the very front of the film and the very end, usually the front. But
would you always do some headshots at the very end just to like maybe kind of get some artsy? Would you ever kind of like use that as like a production value?
Depends if you're doing like sequence stuff. If you're on the 25th frame, like you can't shoot a full sequence. You got 36 frames in a roll, or 24, but nobody used 24.
No,
you get 36, and then you're like, well, if we're doing sequence after sequence, someone's trying to land something. I was eating rolls at like 26 and just scrap it and put a new one in, so I had a fresh one. Otherwise, you wouldn't miss the end of the trick.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
And so they're like, oh, this is getting expensive pretty quick.
And I remember too, like with shooting film, for the most part, we would shoot into the light. You know what I mean? So you'd want to be going one direction on the lake. So you'd shoot all the way down that side. And then the filmer or the photographer would get in the boat and like swap film.
And just rip back.
And you would rip back and then they'd hop back in and maybe get in the tube or whatever it was. But I remember, even the filmers like they would bring this thick blanket and they'd throw themselves over it and like Ron would be wheeling up his film.
And digital takes all that out, which is super cool because you can just keep going recording. And now the cameras are so good, you can almost just hit record, getting video, and take frames out of it. And it might kill photography. I mean,
damn,
because you can take frames out and like that's your photo.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's pretty scary how good the cameras are. I embrace it. I'll always shoot photos. I don't want to do it for a living, but I mean,
does that feel good now that you get to do it more? You have you have a different job now, but like, does it feel good like doing it as like when you want to and like as a passion and a hobby, more as like a back against the wall kind of like thing or something?
There was a lot of pressure on myself because it was, when you get paid to do something, it kind of the tone changes a little bit.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but there was, I dealt with a lot of idiots too that didn't put the hustle in that I did to get results, and then it starts to affect like your paycheck and so it was starting to get frustrating there toward the end, and so.
I know this answer because I only recently asked you, but like, what took you out of filming and made you stop? Like, what was that end decision of being like, I'm moving on to something
And what year
else?
was that, you think?
So I did about a little over 20. So I did about 22 years of photography.
From about 2000.
So we could back it up. So it's probably like, 2000, 99. Yeah, 98, 99. I remember the receipt on my first camera. I think it was 98, I think, or something like that. And make sure you get that audio.
Oh, I made a mess there.
What's the mic, Shane?
That'll be pricey. Forgot we're going on that, but
that'll happen.
They threw me off. It was,
it was like 99 when you got into
you asked me,
photography. Yeah.
So people underestimate how photography beats up your body, because you're carrying just dead weight around all the time. So I had neck issues looking through the camera. It's kind of this weird posture, and my wrist. I had really bad carpal tunnel at the end, and I went like 2 years, probably longer than I should have. And fast forward, I had surgery on both wrists, both elbows, because
damn, really,
I couldn't feel my fingertips. And so there's a couple. I shot CWB Conley for more than 10 years, a bunch of brands for over 10 years. And I was doing their annual photo shoot, and I get up in the morning, I start taping my wrist because I couldn't carry the weight. The weight was killing me. I was in a lot of pain. And
Pelican cases holding like heavy lenses.
Yeah, and it's really the water housing because it's like this wide grip when you're sitting in the tube or you're floating with a vest on, just sitting there in the water. And then I would switch hands to favor because I'm right-handed, so then I put it in my left hand, and then I got really bad carpal tunnel on both hands. And I'm like, man, does anybody else, like I asked Rodrigo, I'm like, anyone else have carpal tunnel issues? They're like, no, just you. I'm like, cool. So
I think there's a thing too of like whenever you know it's serious and you're getting the shot, like you're holding
you're pretty
tighter,
tense, yeah.
you're tense. It's not like you're just like lollygagging this thing. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I don't want to say I get a carpal tunnel, but like when I'm shooting, I notice that I'm like, I get locked up and then like, you know, after a set or whatever, I'll stop and I'm like, why was I so tight? Like I need to just sore. Like I could be loose, a lot more loose with it. But yeah, you get into it because it's happening.
Yeah, you know? And then so I was kind of breaking down, and then I remember my burnout shoot was with a boat company.
There was one shoot that kind of like broke the camel's back.
Yeah, it was. I almost left. I almost walked out on this guy.
Let's say that boat company right now.
Let's bring up
just joking. Just joking.
Yeah, I was rehearsing this. I'm like, don't say their name. and we were somewhere in California, and it was super hot, and we didn't have any water on the houseboat. This guy's there.
You're floating on water.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
You can drink that. But the water's like 90, so you couldn't cool off. Sunburn. We didn't have water. We had beer, of course. You know,
yeah, of course.
Priorities.
So this was a liquid shoot.
Dying. No, it was his boat company. And I'm like, dude, and this guy was there partying. It was his vacation, and I'm there to hustle and give him results. Anyway, we just didn't have the supplies that we needed, and I was just so over it. I was hurting. I was probably overheating, and I was like,
apex.
I'm like, this is gonna be the one where I leave. Like, I'm changing my flight. I'm going home. Like, fuck this guy. Get your shit together, dude. This isn't vacation. But at the same time, this guy's paying me, so I'm like,
yeah. Well,
so that one after that, I was just like, oh, I think I'm.
Even Joey bites his tongue sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty crazy. That's the carpal tunnel in the both wrists and elbows. Like I remember, like I said at the beginning, like I remember you saying this, but I didn't realize it was both wrists, and I didn't know it was the elbows. Like,
yeah, so
what'd you have to do to the elbows? They just go in, like scope it.
Yeah, I forget the name
like
of that.
Scope some like scar tissue
yeah,
out of there or something like
big
that.
Deal. It's like a
whoa,
big hook on both
Jeez.
elbows. So these three fingers are your wrist, and these two fingers are your elbow. So when you go to the doctor, he's like, and he's gonna do a finger prick test. He's like, which fingers are going numb? I'm like, all of them.
All of them.
And the doctor's like, straight face, old dude, super serious. And he's like, all right. He's like, well, what fingers? And he's like, so he's doing all these tests. And he's like, I think you have severe carpal tunnel in both hands. I'm like, cool. What do we do now? He tells me what the deal was. Surgery on my wrist. You can see it kind of goes through your palm.
Yeah.
Your hand's like that, and he works on it straight on. And this is like they move the nerve. It's like it's getting pinched, so that's what's affecting circulation.
Pretty bad pain.
No, but you can't feel your fingertips. What was happening was I wasn't sleeping, and so I'd get up in the middle of the night, and I'm like shaking my hands off to try and like get blood flow. You ever like sleep on your arm? Don't you have some funny mattress?
That's
now?
what I was going to tell you. Dude.
Don't you have some funny
sleep mattress? Dude, no, dude, no joke.
Right.
Dude.
So
it's crazy.
if you sleep
You
on
want to
your
give
arm,
him a plug real quick?
yeah, exactly. So if you sleep on your arm, like you lose feeling. So now, I'm not sleeping. I'm walking around at night, fully awake because my arm, I can't feel my hands. Well, this feeling lasted one day till like lunchtime the next day.
Whoa!
And I'm walking around just dead arm and like
you can't even like text. Like,
no,
like,
this is like just
I guess it's
idiot.
before iPhones and stuff, probably.
Absolute idiot. So
damn.
At the end of that doctor's appointment, I go to grab my keys, and he's super serious. I grab my keys off the counter, and I drop them. He turns around and looks at me. He's like, yeah, you're ready for surgery.
Yeah, you're ready.
And I'm like,
yeah, you're ready for surgery.
I was like, dude, I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that's a good sign.
That's a good sign.
So as soon as I did it, he fixed it. Took like a month to heal. They do them one arm at a time, so you can brush your teeth and one arm each. I did a month on one arm, wait a month, and then did the other arm.
Jeez.
And then right when I don't know which I did first, but as soon as that healed, I started flight school. And I was like, don't tell them your left arm's messed up because you're not gonna be able to fly.
But you knew after surgery or before surgery, you're like, I'm done. I'm done film shooting.
Yeah.
This is that's stupid.
Well,
why not just get out of the wakeboard industry? Because I feel like every filmer or photographer, they start there because it's like what you start, you do what you like. And then once you're doing it and you get good enough, you move past that. You're not like Harrington's not still shooting wake. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like
good
different
on
people,
him.
like Staker's
Smart.
not still shooting wake. Like anybody that shoots and gets good, you go, yeah, this is fun, but
Yeah.
I'm not shooting wake anymore.
Yeah, I did 20 years. I thought it was a good bookend to give it up.
It is a very good bookend.
I'm so blessed in so many ways and been able to travel and see the world and do stuff. And
Yeah, I feel like your heart and your like parents and like you were brought up in Orlando. Like I feel like you're rooted into the wakeboard industry to where like, you know, it would have been easy to go do some other stuff, but I feel like you have a passion for like wanting to start a quality magazine or whatever it may be that that like lives like in you, you know.
Poured a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the Standard and Wake Journal and into the sport for many years. And I told myself if I wasn't doing it anymore, I'm not going to live in Orlando because I'm just like,
Fair enough.
I'd seen so many places and I'm just like,
Yeah.
Orlando's where you need to be for wakeboarding. But if you're not doing it,
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Fair enough.
And so I sold my house and went to the West Coast. I was like, I've worked for myself for 20 years. I want somebody else to tell me what to do. Like I'll show up on time. I'm punctual. I'll do the job. You tell me what to do. I'm tired of a little tired of working for myself. Like,
and
I needed
I'm sure
that.
your creative mind is like drawn dead. You know what I mean? Like you've already used you're spent. You know what I mean? You're like you want somebody just to be like, tell me where to be and what to do because I don't want to create all of this. Like there is a thing too, like what you said. Whenever you're shooting for all these brands, your magazine, like that creative juice can run dry, and you're like, I don't want to be in charge of everything. Like, just tell me where to go, what to do.
Yeah, there's
They don't run dry, but maybe the passion, or maybe like that photo shoot you explained, where it's just like, you know, maybe it's just everything's just like too much, and so it was the carpal tunnel that kind of like made you kind of like put down the camera, and
I tell people I'll always shoot photos. You got to embrace the iPhone, GoPro, drones.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it for a living. To do it, it's got to be so stressful to get paid doing it. There's always someone who's going to do it cheaper.
Okay.
And
does seem like
it's fun, but it's just like I'm not doing it for money.
Does seem like everyone's doing something for nothing nowadays, and everybody wants something for nothing. So between those two things meeting together, like it seems like it's a weird times right now.
And you got to be able to. If there's a guy that's like, you know, an advertiser calls you, like, you give me a rate, and another guy's like, well, this guy said he would do it for this. You're like, go for it. See what you get.
Yeah.
And just with social media now too, where people just think that it's easier. You're like, just shoot it with the phone and like make the little thing. It's like 30 seconds and post it up on Reels. And I'm like, I hate vertical and I hate 30-second pieces. It's like, but it's all I make these days.
So. I do think it's funny how your carpal tunnel made you sit down the camera just to pick up a helicopter throttle and controller. Like, I don't know if I could shoot photos. My hand hurts and the pain. My hands are numb. Let's get in a chopper.
I got it fixed. I fixed my hands, so we're good to go.
Yeah, for the viewers and listeners that don't know, Joey is now a full-on helicopter pilot. Like, so badass that you were a stunt double. Give us the spec story. Let the people know.
Give some helicopter attributes.
I know where we're going with this.
Yeah, well, the flying doesn't have anything to do with strength or anything. It's very finesse, a delicate touch type of thing. Nothing to do with strength. So I was like, oh, these weak hands will be perfect.
These numb hands will be great.
The numb hands are great. And so I healed right when I started flight school. That was in 2020. Get through flight school, working for a guy, and Shane's referring to, I got the opportunity to be a stunt double for a super big name. And
you can't name him?
I'm getting there.
Oh, I thought there was NBA like we had to I thought it was about or something.
Building suspense.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a good storyteller too.
Down to good storyteller. Hopefully it passes it down. But I'm working for this guy on the beach, and he's like, hey, we got this opportunity to use our helicopter for a movie. This producer called me, He's like, can you shoot pictures of the helicopter? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, just anywhere, every angle, because they want to see how much space they had, how they could rig cameras and everything. So I did like busted out my iPhone and took a zillion photos and sent it to him. He passes it on to the producer. They're like, cool, we'll take it. So my boss, he passed away now. He had a heart attack, but anyway, R.I.P. He's like, yeah, I got a helicopter and I got staff. Like, and I'm sure he got paid pretty well. And so they're like,
he's got staff, like people that work
yeah,
for him,
so
or
he's
like
got
staff,
me.
like the infection.
Probably both.
Okay,
That's a good question.
It's probably like this.
well, it sounded like you were like, Andy's got staff, like he can't be there because he's got staff infection.
The staff is infected, yes.
Yeah.
So it was me,
You know what you need.
me, the other pilot. I'm milking this thing, thanks. It was me, the other pilot, and then we had two other girls, and they're like, send me pictures when you had shots of all your staff, because we were going to be potentially doubles, like stunt doubles, or like extras. You guys have probably done stuff where you're like in the background, whatever. And I'm like, not interested.
Yeah, no, mate.
And then he's like, no, I need you to do this. I'm like, if we're not flying, I need a break. Like you can get really burned out flying. And I'm like, I'm going home. If we're closing, we're not using the helicopter. I'm going to Orlando. I don't care about a movie. Like things like that don't really get my attention. And he's like, no, I need you. So we take pictures and send them in so they can see everybody. And they're like, they pick me. I'm part Italian, so is he. They're like, this is our Italian guy. And I'm like, I tell Ross, I'm like, hey, I was like, I'm going to Florida. I'm like, we're not flying. And he's like, no, dude, I need you. And he's like, you're probably going to be the main actor's stunt double. And I'm like, okay.
The
I'm like,
main actors.
yeah. And I'm like,
And you're thinking that this is like some C grade terrible movie. Like main actor could be just like Joe
Anybody.
Schmo
yeah,
off
it could
of
be anybody.
whatever.
But I was like, I just need a break. I didn't care about doing that. And he's like, dude, he's like, I'm not supposed to tell you, but it's Robert De Niro. And I'm like,
Yeah, what?
I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Okay, yeah.
Did they see pictures of you in prosthetics or anything?
No, he's
And the
like,
old,
they're like,
jalapeno
they
fit?
said, shave your face, don't cut your hair, because they were gonna do all your hair exactly how he looked for this particular part. And I'm like, all right, you got my attention. So I was like,
Yeah.
I'll stick around.
You got some Florida's crow feet on there. You can maybe squint.
Yeah,
and pull
so
off a
I was
De Niro.
like,
Give us a good look.
yeah, see your De Niro.
I don't know if I have one. I don't really know all of his movies, to be honest. But obviously I know
It's
who
like
he
this.
is.
It's like this. It's like,
Yeah, I think you got it.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Joe. You shaved the beard. I think you got it. You could
You-
take Joey's role.
Yeah, you could have had this part.
people call me back. Yeah.
So we it was like a 3-day shoot. The helicopter lands. They put it where they want it, and Bob, they all call him Bob.
Yeah,
Robert.
that's what he goes by.
Yeah. So he's sitting in the back seat, which is going to be my spot, and I'm like the door guy every time they're shooting this. This is very funny. I just remember the direct hold. So anyway, it was the I'll have to remember the other actors, but pretty big actors. One was Leslie Mann from, was it Anchorman?
Yeah.
Or
Leslie
Ricky
Mann.
Bobby. Yeah. So she's the
That's
female.
I'm pretty sure that's Judd Apatow's wife.
Yes.
Yep.
So she's in it. Bob's in it. Another guy I can't remember, but I've got pictures of it. And so
We'll be playing them.
yeah, Bob's in the back seat, and I'm the door guy, because they have a position for everybody. There's like makeup, there's sound, there's you name it, and there's 1,000 people around when this shoot happens.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we are not touching this helicopter because they're afraid of getting sued. They're like, well, they won't open the door, they won't do nothing. So they just sit there, cut. Somebody please open the door.
Solid.
Damn, what a role.
I'm Bob's door guy. They don't know how to open the door because it's like a weird little latch.
Super tricky.
Yeah, so I opened it. It's like cut, and it's hot. If they sat back there, Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
He was the other guy.
He's great.
He's in it.
He's really funny.
And the movie's called About My Father, and it's Sebastian Maniscalco, and then De Niro's his
the dad. Yeah.
And so he's in it too. So anyway, so in between cuts, they're like, open the door. Well, one of these times, it's super tight back there. It's terrible sitting in the back seat. It was an R44. And Bob's like, my leg's so stiff, I can't open my leg's stiff. He's like, help me get my leg out. And he's talking to me. I'm opening the door. So before you know it, I'm pulling on Robert De Niro's leg so he could like get him air and like open it up. He's like, give me a step stool so I can put my foot out in between takes. And then okay, we're getting ready to record. I'm like stuffing them back in and like close the door.
I can relate, dude. I've had some flights where
and I'm like,
couldn't
dude,
get out.
this is wild. I'm like, what am I doing?
Was Sebastian? I heard Sebastian.
He was in this scene.
Oh, I was going to say if he was in there, he had I watched some. He had surgeries to where he doesn't sweat. Like he's done like whatever to where he doesn't sweat on stage.
I need a dose of that.
That's pretty crazy.
Go for the measures, dude. That's crazy, dude. Robert De Niro's stunt double. What is the name of it again?
About my father.
About my father.
So this is day one. So this is like I'm interacting with him, but there was no like formal introduction, like
right.
But he's seen me, and so I helped him out, and then it's like next day he doesn't even show next day because it wasn't his part. They hibernate, study their lines or whatever. Third day he comes out, and now he's wearing the uniform for this scene that I get dressed in.
So now you're looking the same.
Now we look the same. And I'm like, all right, this is my opportunity to ask him for a photo because there's no way I can't not ask him for a photo. And I'm like, we're wearing the same shit. This is awesome.
How can he say no?
And now he sees like, oh, he's a double. He was the guy yesterday, and now it's like a little more interaction. And
that's pretty sweet.
So when I'm back it up a little bit, when I'm doing hair, they take me to hair and makeup. They dye my hair and everything gray, look like him, same hat. And I'm sitting there in this trailer, and this lady's working on my head, and Leslie Mann is sitting next to me getting her hair done, and Sebastian's on the other side of me, and they're like talking back and forth, and I'm sitting in the middle like, what is happening right now? This is awesome.
Dude, that is a good the trio to be in because I think Leslie Mann is hilarious. Like she's like in a lot of really fun. She's like, this is 40, knocked like a lot of those like.
So they're bantering back and forth. They had care less. I was sitting there. They didn't interact with me at all, but whatever. So day 3 comes along. Yeah, I'm wearing the same thing. And I see Bob like under this tent. He's got an umbrella girl keeping him out of the shade. He's like 80. He's super old, studying his lines. And I'm walking from like the food tent. I'm by myself, so the rest of the crew wasn't with me. The rest of my colleagues. And I see him sitting there. And I'm like, now's my time.
Now's my time.
and I see him, and he's like reading his lines or reading a book or something. He's got his legs crossed, and I walk by, and he sees
Bob.
me. Morning, Bob. Says good morning, and then he like takes a double take, and he's like, hey, and he asked me something about the helicopter, and apparently he has a lot of experience in helicopter. He goes like to and from an island or something, so he rides in them all the time. And he asked me something about helicopter, so I stopped and now I chit chat with him. I'm like, yes. I was like, no, I'm like. Genuine conversation with Robert De Niro talking helicopters. I'm like, this is so
sick.
Cool. And so now Ross and the other people I work with see me talking to him, and they're like, attack! Like Joe's talking to him. Let's go meet him. And I'm like, no. I was like, you're gonna ruin this.
Get away!
So they came over and it kind of killed it. He kind of clammed up. And I'm like, damn it! I was like, that was so cool.
And you should have. Did you pop the photo? You didn't get.
Didn't
the photo?
ask him yet. I was like, still like testing the water. And so later,
Did you get one.
Oh yeah, I got one. So later,
I'm running out of card over here. I'm just fucking.
I got more. So anyway, so I'm standing there and I see him and I'm like, ask the umbrella girl. I'm like, hey, any chance? I'm like, wearing the same thing. I was like, she's like, you want to get a photo, don't you? I'm like, I mean, if that's cool. And she's like, absolutely not. I'm like, fuck. And she's like, I'm totally joking. Let me ask him. She's like, Bob, this guy would like a photo with you. He stands up. He looks at me. He's like, yeah, of course. Put my arm around him. He's like, cool as shit.
Check it out.
De Niro.
And I'm like, dude, got a picture of this guy. And I sent it to my family and friends. They were just like, no way. So
De Niro's the shit. He's great.
It's cool. So yeah, movie came out and then you couldn't see us in the movie at all. But we
didn't. They cut that whole scene.
Didn't even make the credits.
Damn, they didn't even cut that. You didn't get it.
No,
did you get your name in it?
Nope. They had all our info and stuff. But it says hang 10 helicopters. So. But
count it. We'll count it.
I knew.
Yeah.
I knew.
I mean, you got photos to show. We're gonna
I got a photo to prove it.
So. Yeah, it's good. That's all good.
Oh man, I remember.
All right, that was a good time. All right, that was the end of the podcast.
Yeah,
Joe just ran out. No, just joking.
Was it Saturday now?
Well, let's do another maybe quick Patreon question from Bill Porter right here.
Yeah.
And Joey's a long time. Grew up in Florida. Mom and dad, longtime legends in Florida as well. And Bill's question is, he wants a fun story from the old performance crew, your sisters, the Carltons. We've talked about this with Grub when Grub was on. Like the people and the crew that worked at performance back then was just, it was really like it was. It's crazy to see how far like everyone who worked there back in the day and what they've become, because the performance was like kind of the start of a lot of careers back then.
Yeah, worked with Grubb, Kathy Williams back there, George Davis, Carlton's. Bill's just such an amazing person. And
Absolutely.
what's
Shout
so
out
funny
Bill
is
Porter.
I still have a fear to this day that I'm still clocked in there and I forgot to tell him that I wasn't working there anymore. I was like, man, I wonder if he knows. He's probably like, when is he ever going to clock out?
It like it bleeds into weird dreams. Like at the end of the dream, you're like, oh shit, I'm supposed to clock out at performance.
Yeah, I have some weird dreams lately. But
Yeah.
Your sisters work there too?
yeah, Casey worked there, not Kristen, but Casey did. And so when the Carlton era, those guys are just so talented. Everyone loves a good practical joke and pranks, and God, we'd prank each other every day we're at work. Well, Carlton's made, I don't know who did it, but they made this shelf above the toilet where all the toilet paper was.
Yeah.
When you pull the string, it just drops on your head. And you'd pull it from the other room. It was like the binding room or something. And
This is great.
That is good. That is a good one.
Bill definitely knows that story. But that whole bathroom was booby trapped. that was all Carlton's. And then we'd say we left, somebody leave their wallet in there. You're like, oh damn, let me go check it right after someone just dropped a deuce. And you're like, yeah, got me.
Go.
Yeah.
So yeah, there it is nonstop. But
No, that's pretty good. Yeah, the crew from Performance and all of that, like that late 90s, mid 90s, like Performance was just spot. It was so good. Like, I mean, we talked about it on Grubs. Like going up to it and just seeing Performance and being in the shop, you'd just be like, this is the best. Like,
It was quite an experience running there at the time. He had all the homies in there. Yeah, Bill said your sister and your parents played a big part into his role there. So thanks, Bill, for the question. Really appreciate that, and thank you all the Patreon members signing up and submitting some questions for all the guests.
yeah, keep sending in some questions. These are good. We like the Patreons, chipping in and having, being part of this. We like
Group discussion here.
Yeah, I mean, me and Parks come up with questions, but they're not good. We just end up having conversations.
Maybe we should let's do the spin to win. We'll keep this quick. We'll keep this quick, but we're gonna do the top shelf member.
You recording?
Patreon. No, not quite.
Yeah, screen
But,
record
good
that
call,
thing.
Shane. This is the top shelf member giveaway right now for episode 5 with Joey Meddock. We're
How
going
many
to do
got?
this live. The first one that we're doing live. We've done all the other 4 episodes have been pre-recorded. So we take if you're a top shelf member, you get your name on this wheel, and I'm going to spin it, and then you're going to get.
What are we getting? What are we getting?
We're going to give away.
Eric Ruck.
Eric Ruck. We didn't really talk about this. We will later. This is a.
are we wrapping it up already?
No. We're not
definitely.
even
Just
at
making sure
halftime,
it's
dude.
Saturday,
We're
right?
at
Yeah, we
halftime,
got to
dude.
take a break.
You're
I
not even
got-
through your first beer yet. So.
Yeah,
just making sure you
Jesus.
guys-
But this is a photo
We're
of
just
Eric
doing
Ruck.
stuff.
Eric Ruck doing a cab front in front of the space shuttle going up. That's right, space shuttle, not SpaceX. This is
not a
old
rocket.
school stuff right here.
That's pre-space X.
And then we're also going to give away a melon hat. So
Ooh, pull a melon hat out. Let's see what we got here. We got a nice
out of the melon banter box right here. Let's open it up.
Yeah,
and
let's see what color we're working with. Nice little. Ooh, I like
Ooh,
that
the
one.
smoke one. That's kind of
Ooh.
sick.
Pretty fitting.
I might have kept that one if I
Pretty
didn't pull
fitting.
that.
Let me,
All right.
let me dust that up with a little bit more smoke. A little.
All right, we're gonna have Ruck and we're gonna have the crew sign this thing and the melon hat. We're gonna spin to win right now. Who's gonna win? Top shelf member. Here we go. Spinning it out.
How many got on there?
I think there's about 20 maybe or so. Ladies and gentlemen, Zane Schwenk taking it down. Zane Schwenk.
Zane will appreciate that.
You get the smoky melon hat and as well the Eric Ruck going up doing the cab roll.
What if it
or
was a
cab
picture-
front in front of the space shuttle?
Picture of Zane. That Zane won.
That would have been
That'd be
sick.
amazing.
I mean, do you have a good picture of Zane?
I
We
probably
could
got
send.
something.
Zane actually
Zane,
would
you-
appreciate a nice photo.
Zane, you might
of
have
Zane.
an extra surprise coming in.
Yeah.
With Joey Meddock, but
No, thank you,
Yeah,
Zane, for
appreciate
supporting.
that.
Thank you all Patreon members for supporting, and thank you everybody that is subscribing and liking and sharing all of these videos that we're doing. So
I got to meet this Patreon person. Are they going to come on the show?
they're pretty cool. They're pretty cool.
maybe we should do a giveaway and the
Elusive.
Patreon gets to come on the show.
I would love that.
Never know who it's going to be.
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
cool.
well, technically, we've
would
talked
be
about
Zane
bringing
Schwenk.
Zane. We've talked about bringing Zane.
It would have
on,
been
so
Bill Porter, and then would have been Josh and Hairspray, and we
Yeah.
could have all
Yeah.
of them guests.
We
on
should
there.
bring them all in here. All Patreon members come in. No, it's good.
I like it. So, all right.
No, that's a good little one. And this photo of Ruck is awesome. I've always loved that one.
I was actually driving the boat on this. We were sitting on that. Let's walk him through this photo because we were. This is on Clear Lake in Orlando. Ruck's sitting in the water. Joey's in the boat. And we don't know exactly where it's going to go up, but we're like listening to it like live on the radio and like ropes tight, kind of like it was stressful. I remember like
Yeah. So we were against the tree line where you can't see
right
in the distance.
right.
And then we had a spotter boat that we were on the phone with.
That's right.
So they would tell us when it went up, and we're listening to the radio. And so we get the countdown. Usually they're like live at 10 seconds.
How long do you think the shuttle's going for? Like from at this point, you think that's been up for maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes?
We got
That's like 45 seconds.
3 flips out of it, 3 trips.
Damn.
Yeah. And I think this was the second one because we were still lining it up. And the chances of it lining up like that's pretty rare.
Yeah, no, that one's good.
You actually you crushed that one, dude. That's Ruck has his hanging up in his house. Joey actually brought over 2 of these, so I'm hanging one up in my house. And Zane Schwenk,
the boat driver.
and Zane Schwenk, you're going to have one.
Schwenk's getting the
Zane Schwenk has one hung up at his house now.
Yeah, so PB was driving this, and then we get the 10-second countdown on the radio, but it's delayed. Remember that? And then we're like, 10, 9, it's up. We're like, what?
Right, yeah, we
one's
started
ready.
to go. Yeah, I mean, that's
Gas
what,
it.
Gas
and,
it.
And
go.
so he's going. I'm shooting out of the boat because that was like the easiest angle. And Parks is looking in the rear view to try and line it up. And the first one's not lined up. I'm like, keep turning,
turn, more.
Now Ruck's
And
like
Ruck's still doing cab fronts, like inside to out, like no roller. So he's just off of nothing. Did one, cut back across real fast.
Yep.
I'm getting closer. Do another one, cut back across real fast.
couple
3.
frames, bam, 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 bam. And I'm like, oh, I think we got one. And then he did one more, and by then the shuttle was too high. What's so cool about this is they don't do the space shuttle program anymore.
Yeah.
That was like,
Right.
Shortly after this, they stopped doing it. Now it's all rockets, no space shuttle. quote unquote.
Yeah.
So this picture will never happen again.
Yep.
And we
It's old
tried
Classico right there.
We tried to redo it with Red Bull closer to the beach.
Well, I saw that. It actually, that one was cool in its own way. It looked
Yeah,
kind of,
I think Ruck took the cake.
yeah,
but,
I agree.
Yeah.
We tried to do that one at night with flashes, and we had 2 boats. Remember that?
We'll show that picture right now. I saw it on your
and-
thing. Was
and,
that JD or Adam?
That was Adam,
Adam.
and he was doing like a grab or something. But
Gunther just recently tried to redo it with when he was doing his little Florida project where him and Megan and a few other people were cruising, and they used this photo as an example.
Oh, cool.
And we're like, look, SpaceX flies like once a week, it seems like these days. But no, it was, but they used, he was like, let's redo this.
and the closer you are to the shuttle, the faster it goes up. So the farther away you look, it goes slower.
Oh, I didn't really.
So
That's kind of interesting.
So with Adam's
Right.
shot, it was like one chance. It
Bam.
went up so fast.
Right,
and you're like,
right.
that was it. And I'm like, damn.
And it's at night. The exposure is probably super
was-
crazy to kind of like now
was-
you're shooting flash.
It
and
was a tough
That
shot
sounds like a
to
nightmare,
get.
huh?
I wasn't super psyched on what I got, but you can see this smoke trail in the background. But
We got a photo. We're showing it right now.
Nothing comes easy when you're shooting like rockets and stuff. And
yeah, but that's the what I took pride in, like with the standard and everything, where ideas like this, they come from your head and you try to bring it to life. Like anybody can go out there and just press a button and shoot a photo. What separates you from the other guy is using your head. The good stuff
Right.
comes between your ears, and like you really put thought into some of these stuff. And like I had done 20 years, and especially toward the end of it, I really took care of like trying to come up with really specific ideas.
Well, me and Shane were talking earlier. Like you were pretty much the pointless photographer. Anytime we had a bonkers idea, I mean, we shot with Lecce, we shot with maybe a couple of
Malloy
but like
was
Malloy,
around.
yeah,
That
definitely
was
Maddie. But like I think like we shot with Joe more than like anyone. You probably had more pointless covers than like almost anyone out there. Like I feel like any bonkers, stupid idea, lighting shit on fire, you were like pretty much the one that was like willing to drive down with Nevin. And like even the Alliance cover, the Flash Gordon, like that one was really cool. The Flash cover where I'm doing the carve, and we had Nevin just bunker down on a.
That was probably Nevin's last tube ride. He's like, I'll never do this again.
But you're on the cover, Nev.
Eating water. He's like, you can't see him at
You're
all.
on the cover, dude.
Yeah. There was so many fun ideas and so many different things that happened during those like years. Those early, I would almost say it was like 2001 to 2000, let's say 5 or 6. That like that was, I think that was I don't want to say my heyday, but that was like sort of my most fun. Like, that's what I loved like most.
I think
Those
we
are
were
most
just
memories.
We were just homies hanging out, and it was like
Yeah.
we weren't like trying to do anything. We were just always together. So it's like
messing around,
press
like,
record.
really just getting after it.
I really, it felt like you weren't a photographer. You're one of the, like, we were all doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Just like there was a lot of downtime. There was a lot. You just didn't come down to shoot. We hung out like all the time, man.
Like
So-
one of the stupidest ideas that I know that we shot, and I don't even know why or what we were doing, but it's me, you, Danny, and Ruck out on the Parks's balcony
Hiawassee.
on Hiawassee. Don't you remember?
I do. I remember
Was I in it, or do I just remember the photo?
No, you were in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Danny
Like,
had a bucket over his head.
Danny had a bucket. Somebody had aluminum.
Eric
on
had like 10 foil, like he's Mr. 10.
It was just like a weird idea that we're like, we're not doing anything. Let's just everybody come up with a stupid,
And that's
shitty
what I'm
costume.
talking about.
Yeah, it was so odd, but like,
pretty sure we weren't sober.
no, we definitely were not. But it was like, it is such an odd, and they ran it in the magazine, which is
Yeah.
even more
So we got
odd.
paid
Where
off
you're
of
like,
that.
this was such a stupid fucking photo. But
Yeah, totally. But yeah, there's talking about glory days.
yeah, those glory days were good.
the glory days.
But yeah, some funny memories that I'll never forget.
It's been a wild ride, man. Let's take a little break real quick.
Break it up.
Break.
And we are back.
Shane demands that we play that after
Every
little
time.
quick halftime.
I would
love
too.
it.
Sounds
It's
like
a good song.
sitcom.
It is a sitcom. It is
amazing.
like, yeah.
I'm
it
still
is
trying to
nice.
find a better one, but I haven't found one yet.
For you?
What's that?
For you or for
Yeah.
him?
For the
No,
for
for
the
the
join back.
coming back
Ah,
from an intermission.
But
Hard
we
to
were
beat.
we were talking about Halloween outfits again, and we were talking about how Watson had this party, and my mom showed up to the party as a joint, just like completely wrapped up as a joint, and she had this like sage that she was like trying to like blow out through this like little thing that she could like see through, and
Sage,
it got
huh?
yeah, because she thought it smelled like weed.
No, what it was is I had a physical therapist that gave me this weird Asian wrap, this thing that you would burn and like rub around your wounds or your injuries. And it was supposed to be like this like Eastern medicine style thing, but it smelled just like weed.
So she was burning this thing and for production value and really sell this whole joint outfit, but then it got too fucking smoky in there, so she ended up like falling over, and she like fell over and she couldn't get back. If this joint fell
passed
over,
out, I remember that.
she like fell over and I saw her little legs kicking, and I was like, I was
went
sitting
and
at a table, and these people go, "Who is that?" And I saw the joint fall over, and I saw the legs kick. I go, "That's my mom."
Yeah, but she went like a long time without talking,
Yeah.
and was
Nobody
nobody
knew
knew
who
who it was.
It was like Joey
just
at a party.
Yep.
Yeah,
I admire her effort.
Yeah, no,
What was
exactly.
Shane? What was the latest outfit that she did? She was half
Oh.
Shane, half me.
This one-
Dude,
this one-
Listen to this shit.
This one like grinded my gears really bad. But what it was is she was half Parks, half Shane, and she went through her old stuff and found a pair of board pants and a pair of Parks's shorts that he wore on tour for the whole year. They were the plaid
orange?
shorts.
No, these are the plaid shorts
The
that you
plaid
first shot
shorts.
at the aircraft thing. Remember the aircraft shoot that we did?
We definitely have
Here.
a photo. But anyways, she decided that it would be awesome to cut them in half and wear half of a pant leg of a board pant and half of a plaid board short.
Was that this year Halloween?
But both of
Yeah.
these things were like, I can't find board pants anywhere. I can't find them anywhere. Parks did end up finding me a pair and gave me a pair, but she came out and was dressed, and as much as I was impressed by the outfit and the commitment to it, I was equally pissed because I was like, those are board pants, and you can't find board pants anymore.
And give
Like,
the listeners, I don't know if we articulated this right. She took pretty much Shane's old school pair of 1997, 1998 Jet Pilot board pants and cut them down the crotch, half pant. She took my favorite pair of Fox shorts that like I wore these shorts for like an entire year. I never knew
washed
there were.
them.
I never washed them. I seriously, unless I was wearing jeans, I was wearing these shorts. I have them stashed
Traveled-
around the
traveled
Dude,
everywhere.
these things were wild. And I looked for another pair of these. Didn't know mom had one. She has one. Cuts it down
Cut it
the
in
crotch
half.
for that outfit. So she's just
Like,
devouring our
it's-
chair's relics.
and you should appreciate it, Joe, because it is a commitment like no other to a Halloween costume.
That's good.
And it was
like
just like, it was so funny. I was like, Jesus, Mom. Like if she would have given me the board pants as a Christmas present, probably would have been the best Christmas present ever. I was like, what? You had some board pants? But no, she decided to cut them in half and wear one pant leg. And I was like, what happened to the other pant leg? She was like, I think I have it at home. And I was like, you give me that. And I'm sewing these things back together because you just don't come across old school 1998 board pans anymore.
Classicos right there.
Classicos.
Yeah.
But
That's what you should have brought the grab matter, Shane, when that would be a great one.
I did have, you gave me a pair of recently and I did wear them at the Wake Active, the Evening with the Stars. I wore some board pants up there for that just recently. Yeah.
Didn't you have a golf shirt of mine that you never took off and you wore every time you golfed? I'm like, are you ever gonna give that thing back? And you're like, no.
No, I think I only wore that when I golfed with you.
I'm like, he's still wearing it.
Yeah, still wears that shit.
Another Halloween outfit that Parks always brings up, and you just were about to bring it up,
Yep,
but it's
you know
my
what it
favorite. It's my favorite. You tell the viewers what it was.
You were a sports vendor guy with
That's
an
it.
orange tray, passing out candy and hot dogs.
Popcorn!
It was the hot dog man.
some popcorn.
It was the hot dog man at a football game that I would just walk around with beers and hot dogs and just blatantly
Yelling.
scream. And what was good is that we were downtown, so I actually went to the hot dog vendor before I got
like
to the
20 hot
club,
dogs.
and I got a whole bunch of hot dogs, and then I'd go to the bar and I'd just stack up on beers, and I made money selling stuff, but I would never not say, cold beers, hot dogs, cold beers. I got your hot dogs here. And like people are like, Shane, great costume. Hey, what you been up to lately? And I'd just go, hot dogs, hot dogs. Like
Never
sorry.
broke
I know I'm
character.
screaming into the microphone, but
It was Shane sold it though.
You never
Shane
broke
sells every
characters.
year.
one of the best
I
costumes.
love that one. Yeah, we've had and Harrington too. He's had some good ones.
Oh yeah. I loved when back in 2612 days, we would dress up and everybody loved it so much that we'd do a photo shoot in the garage and we like took photos.
2612 is Shane's house. It's his address.
Yeah.
Shane's giving away some code information that
I think most people can figure that
Yeah,
one out.
all right,
2612
yeah. It's
was
in his
pretty obvious or out there, but the crew back then, we would do photo shoots, everybody in Halloween costumes. And I remember the one year that I was the sports seller, or the vendor, like Clay was like this killer clown and Colin, I think, was the muff diver.
Yep.
And it was just like, you would get like 8 of us in a photo and everybody was just so different and so weird that it was like, what the hell is
Colin's
this?
muff diver, I think, for 4 or 5 years too. That was a
The
solid
best.
costume.
It was the best.
And I hope that we can bring up photos of every outfit that we're talking about right
Yeah,
now.
we could find some. We could go back through and find some of these.
Man, yeah. Let's get into how Joey knocked out his damn teeth, dude. Joey rolled. A lot of people don't know this, but Joey rolled around all through. Well, almost. It seems like your teeth was out almost like more than it was.
It was 2 years.
It was 2 years.
2
Maybe
years,
it just
no
weighed
teeth.
heavy on me.
What do you think it was longer?
Yeah, I felt like it
It was an era.
It was an era. It was an era because you had the fake tooth that you would constantly pop out too.
I had a flipper. Yeah, so I knocked my teeth out at OWC. I was following Watson. It's his fault.
Yeah, everything's Watson's fault.
And he's like, just follow my line. You'll be good. And
He is a great scapegoat.
missed. I was doing a transfer. I was learning how to do it and failed miserably and knocked out my teeth, 2 front teeth. Pretty good. Split my front lip.
You Kobe'd it.
What little lip that I have. And I didn't feel anything till maybe an hour later. Then I felt it all.
Did it go through? I think I saw the photo of it go through your
They
lip.
said this was a boxing blow, so your skin just exploded on impact. And then my tooth, they thought it was behind my nose, pushed through the palate of my roof of my mouth. And so they had to explore to find it, to see if it was there before they ruled it out that you lost it.
What?
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I spit it out.
I can feel it.
When I came up above water, I felt like chiclets in my teeth, and I still have dreams about that, like you're spitting your teeth out.
Really?
I do too. I have tons of teeth.
Well, that's what it feels like.
Teeth dreams. Yeah.
Feels like that. And I spit them out, and I'm like, I don't think they're in there. So they dug around, jabbed me with a needle, and so anyway, they had to repair the roof of my mouth first, and then they could put the post into what is now the new bone. Bone, I guess, takes a year to heal from bone to bone. And so when they screwed the bone in to the roof of my mouth, they're like, okay, 1 year, and then we can put the post in and then let that heal, which was about another year. And then in the meantime, wear a flipper. But if you wear the flipper, the more you wear it, the worse the gums will recover. And so he's like, the more you don't wear the flipper, it'll look better in the long run.
Is the flipper the retainer?
That's the
Kind of like,
yeah. So you can take the tooth out.
That's where you could like talk and like you would just like your tooth would just start shaking if you wanted to or something.
Oh, you could spit it out. I was making out with a chick one time and it fell out. It was pretty funny. The more you can not wear it, the better it would heal in the long run. So the second year of that, I just didn't wear it because I wanted it to look normal when it was ready to put the real tooth on. And man, I went everywhere. And then you could see this little silver sparkle popping through my gum.
Yeah.
And then I started to talk with a lisp because you're correcting for your teeth not being there. And my jaw was getting really sore because I was talking with underbites so you could pronounce words right. And
whoa, what a transition!
So
you don't even really think about like just the mechanics of like
your tongue bounces off the back of your teeth almost everything you say. And so I didn't have anything there, so it affects your speech.
You were just
so I was lisping, and I went no tooth for a good year and a half, probably, or 2 years.
Yeah, no, I remember you not having a tooth almost my whole life.
I've got it. So a lot of these photos are
Shane had a lisp until he was about like 6 years old or so. Remember that, Shane?
Oh yeah,
you might not even. Yeah,
no, I remember it.
He would be at park.
Yeah, I would say park. Yeah, it was like the worst. Like you almost wouldn't know that I had a lisp. I mean, you would hear it every now and then, but since my brother's
do you remember how they corrected you?
Yeah, no, I know exactly. I did speech therapy, and what they would do is they'd take like the little rubber bands that you would put on braces, like those
the little tiny ones,
and they would make me put it on the tip of my tongue, and I would have to say S's or S words and not let it fall off of my tongue.
Yeah, that fucks.
Totally corrected it. It was super weird, but like I went to speech therapy. This was great. I went to speech therapy, and there was like 6 kids in there, and everybody had different everybody
problems.
One of them would say ours like a little baby, like they were like it was it was just hilarious because I was like, oh, I didn't hear my lisp. Like I would talk and I wouldn't hear it, but I could hear everybody else's in speech therapy, and I was dying laughing. I'm like, these people don't know how to fucking talk at all, and I'm like in there with them. I'm like, I guess I'm.
I kind of wish you still had the lisp.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice.
Nicely.
It would have been nice.
Real nice.
Maybe by the end of that, he might.
Yeah, no, I probably will. But there will be another. I'll be slurring, but it won't be at the.
Joey, remember what was that? What was the T-Mac party that we went to that one time? Like,
oh man, so
because T-Mac lived on the Butler chain, like Peacock, I think.
Yeah, one of the Butler. I don't know the chain out
Tom
there.
King's like Peacock. Yeah.
Also, a Backstreet Boy lives out there. Fatone, Joey Fatone lives out there. Anyway,
shout out Joey Fatone.
Oh, what's up?
The neighbors hated him. Nautique, they gave away boats to have relationships with athletes and celebrities and whatnot. And T-Mac, Tracy McGrady, was a NBA All-Star.
I went to high school with him down in Armadale.
Right, and I knew that little bit of information when I went to go shoot him. And somehow they called me. They're like, hey, I was doing a lot of Nautique stuff at the time. They're like, we're giving Tracy a boat, and we need to get pictures of him sitting on the back of the boat. Cool. And they called me to go do it. I'm like, sweet, get to meet this guy. And I'm driving over. I'm going over there, and out of the blue, Tony Finn calls me, and I'm like, how does he know? He knew where I was doing.
What do you know?
I had to go take pictures of Tracy McGrady. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, it was actually pretty spot on. Yeah.
And I'm like, how did he know this? I'm like, I was like, headed there right now. So I don't know.
Tony's got his ear to the street, dude.
Yeah,
Tony knows, dude.
Maybe he knew T-Mac. So I go over there, and they made this jersey for him. I don't know if it said Nautique on the back or something, but it was not his size, and he was not stoked on putting it on.
Absolutely not.
Well, it's hard to make a jersey size for T-Mac. That
He's
dude was huge. Yeah.
And so the jersey,
they're like, he's an extra large.
So he was like a little pissy,
right?
And he's like, didn't want to do the shoot. And you're like, you get this amount of time with this guy, and that's it. And I'm like, all right. And so he put
he just held that shit up.
No, he put it on reluctantly.
The crop top,
from what I remember. But I was shooting from a different boat. I wasn't like interacting with him. And then I'm like, all right, I got to get closer to him and like get in the boat and start like getting different angles. And and I knew he was from Polk County. Is that right?
Yeah, Armadale.
And so,
Shout out Armadale High School Bloodhounds. Let's go.
so there was like this weird tension, not tension, but he just wasn't like opening up to me and like giving me photos that I wanted and stuff. So I get in the boat and start talking. And I'm like, I remember you saying like you went to high school with him, and I'm like, maybe I'll just bring this up. And I'm like, hey, I was like, I'm pretty sure you know a friend of mine. You went to school together, and I was like, you know a guy named Parks something, and I think he said the last name. It was like, and then he like lit up. He's like, you know Parks? And I'm like, yeah, I know him pretty good. And he's like, and then he was like super cool with me, and then we like took more pictures or whatever.
Polk County bringing people together, dude.
And so, and then toward the end of it, he's like, having some people over later. If you want to come, maybe. He didn't care if I was there. He's like, maybe call Parks, tell him to come.
That was fun. You called me. We went to
yeah, I'm like, dude. So I'm like, dude, he just gave me the green light to come to his house party. I'm like,
that's so sweet.
You got to be kidding me. So
like, out of all the things, Parks helps you out, do a lot of stuff. But like, while you're shooting McGrady, you're like, the fact that I bring up Parks and then I get invited with Parks to McGrady's party is all time. That's like classic Parks, just doing Parks shit that helps you out. It helps you out.
Now I'm like third wheeling. I'm like, so I call Parks. I'm like, hey, I just shot T-Mac, and I bring up your name, and he invites us to come to his party. And I'm like, you got a boat? And he's like, yeah. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
I'm like, you got a trailer? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, put that shit in the water. We're driving. And he's like, how are we going to get in? I'm like, the same way I got in this time. I was like, we're going by the lake.
By the dock.
Because he
had a big gate out front.
It's all gated off.
Yeah, you can't get in. He had his logo on the front. It was sick ass. Like,
and you're not calling Tracy like, hey, let me in. It's me and Parks.
Hey, we're here. So
you remember me?
We're going by boat. So Parks is like, yeah, puts a boat in. He picks me up, and we go by boat and pull up, and Parks is like, well, how are we going to do this? I'm like, I don't know. He might recognize me.
Yeah.
Parks and I, we stick Park on the dock, and we start walking up. A couple guys are like, who are these dudes? And I'm like, oh, I was here earlier. I swear I know this guy. And we make it all the way up to his
house.
My
buddy Obi. I think I see some friends that I kind of like knew from high school.
Yeah, and they're like, who are these two white dudes? Parks and I walk up.
No. The fact that Parks saw friends from high school, you guys were already good because Parks was a loved person in high school. The only reason why I got through a little bit of high school is because I was Parks' brother. So I
was uncomfortable since him putting a jersey on, like much less walking up at that time. So we walk in, and it kind of a weird party. He's like, the house is closed off. He's the only one allowed inside. He had a bouncer by his sliding door. And he's sitting on his couch with his chick. And we like walk up to the window, and he like looks over, and we had like the hall pass, like, go, come in. So we go inside, and like X Games or something was on.
Yeah, I was a Pro Tour stop or something just happened to be on. Like X Games or whatever. Wakeboarding never naturally comes on ESPN at a normal hour. And for the fact that we walked in, it was like, he was thumbing through, and it came to it. I was like,
puts it on, and then he sees Parks on TV, and he was like, holy shit, you're on TV. He's on TV like every night. And he's freaking out because Parks is there. And
bro,
it's
the
like,
stars aligned so crazy.
What was your side of that? Like, it was me, you, him sitting on the couch watching you on wakeboarding?
It was this kind of, I mean, I don't really hang out. I've known Tracy from high school, mutual friends and stuff, and I've seen him at the basketball games, but I've never really been to a house party either. So that was kind of like, as shocking to me, as it was for you, like getting
so good.
Inside. And there's like 100 people outside at
we're the only ones allowed in.
And we're like watching, and we're watching.
And Tracy's not hanging out with any of the 100 people.
No. Yeah, and his girl.
No, it's weird.
It was pretty fucking awesome.
I hope I get successful to a point that I can have a party and everybody has to stay outside, and I sit inside and just like watch whatever I want, like Righteous Gemstones, and I'm just like, like the party's for y'all.
Shane will be out in a sec. He's on episode 6. There's only 8 episodes.
It was weird vibe for sure.
No, it was fun.
No, that was really
apparently
cool.
they know each other.
I remember we went back down. I took a wakeboard set. They all walked down to the dock, and I took a wakeboard set. Like I think I remember doing like some Rayleighs and stuff
at
like
night.
In front. No, like in front of the party and stuff like that.
Oh, was this during the day?
During the day, yeah.
Oh, I thought
like
this was
sunset.
at night.
Yeah, it was like kind of like dusky.
I bet you did a Rayleigh.
Yeah, I definitely did a Rayleigh. You
In
know,
a Whirlybird?
people.
In a Whirlybird?
It's a Staples, dude.
Yeah,
I don't want to fall. I want to deliver.
Staples.
You know the deals.
Yeah.
Crowd delivers.
They were super cool, and there was a zillion Magic players we hung out with.
Yep.
Out on the back porch.
And Magic probably let them go 3 years later. So
Now they all play for the Lakers.
now they all play.
That's pretty
never
good.
forget that one.
Damn, man.
That's really good. That's a really
solid.
solid.
All the good ones, man. Joey was. I tried to go to the Bert Kreischer comedy show at the arena, and I'm up there, and I was trying to because Bert said that you like wanted to wakeboard like with me and stuff. And he was on this podcast. He was like, dude, I'm coming to Orlando. He's doing a vodka tour, and he wanted to get out on the boat. And then I was.
He seemed like he was super excited.
Yeah.
Like I listened to his podcast.
I went to the show and I was sitting in the nosebleeds. And then the next day, I like on my phone. I'm like in bed. I'm looking, and Joey's like shoulder to shoulder with him, like in the green room, like under and backstage. And I'm like, damn it, I didn't hit up.
That's
Joey,
so messed
dude.
up that you used Parks to get to
And
Tracy
I couldn't use
McGrady's
you.
things, and you didn't like to do the favor. Come on, like I mean.
I got one on you.
That's
You're
really
still
good.
winning, but
How do you know Bert?
so my sister dated him in college, and
At FSU?
Florida State.
Which is I don't know if it's saying a lot or less for your sister, because from what I understand, Bert was an insane individual
Well,
in college.
Yeah, he was labeled the party animal. They had
And your sister was dating him at this time.
yep, and then
That's so awesome.
and then he did
What did your parents? Joey's parents are kind of like can maybe a little bit kind of reserved, like.
Bert's got some funny stories. With
And
my-
then like your daughter's dating Bert Kreischer.
Oh my God.
What does Big Lair think about this?
I just remembered this, and Bert will probably back this up. This is a great story too. Kristen's dating Bert, so they go back to he got a spread in Rolling Stone magazine. Kristen was in that picture in this fountain of Florida State, and it says her name and stuff. And so anyway, he's super cool. He's very down to earth. He's always kept in touch with us throughout his career, and it's so cool to see him take off. And he's the kind of guy that's like people just gravitate toward him. He's like the loudest guy in the room. He's super nice, and he's a party guy. And you'll know if he's in the room because you'll hear him. But he's staying the night at my parents' house. I wasn't living there at the time. And Bert tells a story, I think, on Joe Rogan's podcast. And he is a sleepwalker, and he'd always go to bed with a cup of water next to his bed. This is have you heard
No,
this story?
I don't think I heard of this episode.
So it's Thanksgiving time. Jan's got the Thanksgiving table from November 1st set, ready to go with the candles and the plates and napkins and everything. And Bert stays the night. They go out downtown. They get super hammered. And Bert sleepwalks from the guest room to the dining room table and thinks that's the bed and gets under the covers. The dining room table.
Yeah.
And so all the candles are falling over, cling, clang, clang, falling over. And my dad thinks somebody's breaking in. So he comes out with a pillow and his whitey tighties, like he's gonna
pillow fight this dude.
He's gonna
suffocate him.
He's gonna rough up a burglar with his pillow and his whitey tighties. And
I love that Laird brought a pillow. Like, what is that?
Pretty good weapon of choice, you know.
Yeah.
So Bert pisses
Better than nothing, I guess.
Bert pees all over the table, and he's still like out of it. Yeah. My parents love him.
Which is odd because they hate Parks because they kicked him out of Masters for carry on.
So my dad, long story shorter, he just walked him back to bed, and then like a hilarious story from years later. But,
Damn, walked him back to bed.
Yeah.
I can't believe Bert.
Pissed on the dining room table. I mean, that's just legendary. That's amazing.
Dude,
Doesn't that sound good coming off the tongue?
So, Bert tells the story really well, better than I do.
Big
but-
Laird loves Bert for pissing on the table, but kicked you out of Masters for hitting the jump.
But you know what? To add on to that, Larry's kind of into some fucking crazy shit sometimes because like when I went
What, like into pissing on tables?
No, well he does say he likes Bert and he pissed on a table. So, but what I'm saying is that like I got Joey's dad, Larry Meddock, was the tournament director at the Masters when I went off the jump and almost got disqualified and did that whole thing. And after I was on shore and he comes running up to me. And like this is why I think your dad maybe kind of like maybe loves Bert for pissing on the kitchen table. He goes, and then he's referring to me like going off the jump, which is just for the skiers. And I go off out on my wakeboard. And he goes, "Don't you ever do that again." But damn it, the people loved it.
Yeah. Nah, Big Laird's awesome.
He is great. Hey, let's give Big Laird a little shout out right there.
That's
so
good.
He's dealt with some park shenanigans over the years.
Yeah.
I love Larry. Yeah, we would maybe me and Laird butted head in the
I think
beginning of our
we'd bring-
careers, but me and Laird, if we saw we're
I think we
hugging
bring
nowadays.
Laird in on the podcast sometime.
He does. He
Not
has.
opposed to that.
He's got stories with you for days, but at the same time, he'll be like, "I really like that guy."
Yeah.
I'm in the Bert category, dude.
You are. Well, no, you're not. You're way better than Bert.
Maybe not that. Maybe not that. But
Yeah,
he
Jesus,
doesn't-
way to get ahead of yourself. Throwing
No,
yourself
he
into
says
the
he likes.
Kreischer
He likes
category.
Bert. He likes me. I wasn't.
You're doing way better than Bert.
No, that's good. That's good.
man.
Joe,
Bert.
I don't know how we feel about it. Do we want to go in a little rapid fire?
Oh, let's do it. I need to.
Blacka.
Maybe we'll insert the song there. That was our gun. That's a rapid fire gunshot.
Jeez.
All right.
Gonna hit.
Yeah, this is rapid
All
fire.
right, rapid fires.
You ready,
rapid
Joe?
fires, Joe. You ready?
Yeah, let me get a Colorado cooler.
Yeah. Take your time, because it's gonna come hot. So these questions don't have to be too much. We're looking for a quick answer, but sometimes if you do feel like there is something there, you can lean into it a little bit. It's all on you.
I'm tracking.
All right, you ready to go?
Anywhere from like a second to about 20 seconds.
No, don't regulate it. Let them do it.
Yeah, okay.
Here we go. First one. First cover.
Josh Sanders.
Josh Sanders.
Damn, Joe, you got a good memory.
Last
No,
cover.
I don't.
Last cover.
Something Wake Journal. If you call that a cover, I mean those are all digital, but
Nah, I mean I'll give you
Paper.
that.
Last print
but
cover.
Last print cover.
no clue.
It's something standard, obviously.
Not necessarily.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I had 200. so I
Favorite
don't know.
cover.
Oh man, there's a lot. Murray's reflection was
Yeah,
pretty
we're
popular.
That's
gonna get into that. We'll get into that one.
a good one.
Murray's
That
mirror
was a good
shot
one.
is really good.
Would you say that's your most iconic photo, maybe?
It's the most stolen photo of wakeboarding.
Okay, there we go.
Online.
That's it.
So I kind of take that as a compliment.
I like that.
It's a very good photo.
It's sick.
Yeah, that's on Murray. Murray came up with that.
All right, one rider to shoot forever.
Shane's right here.
I was gonna say either one of you, really.
Really? Shout out.
No, no
Um,
shout-outs, but-
Favorite Halloween outfit? We sort of touched on this earlier.
Ones
but-
that we can talk about.
No, we ones we can't talk about even. No, I'm just joking. Yeah, whatever.
Just went down memory lane.
I
there
think it's the old man. I think the old man was
Man,
just
I
so
had some good
spot
ones.
on. It was such commitment and so long. And who was it? It was you. We did
quick side story. When I worked at SeaWorld, the guy drowned and he tried to swim in with the whales.
I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
He jumped in over the fence at
You
night
were
or
there.
something.
You were there for that.
No, but I dressed up like him one year.
It's pretty messed up. It's pretty good.
Tell me about it.
Was there blood involved?
Well,
Was
what's
Yeah,
the
so-
outfit? What's the outfit?
He like bit him in the crotch and he like threw his body around. The guy died. R.I.P.
Yeah.
Shout out.
No, I don't think that's the sound.
Yeah, I don't think that's
think that's the wrong sound.
That's a timeout for that, dude.
No, so I had an inflatable whale, like a pool whale, on my back,
Okay, I can already
and I
see
was
it.
super white makeup, and then I had board shorts with blood on my crotch.
That's messed up,
And
Joe.
everyone's like, "What are you?" A couple people got it, but
That's messed
Anyway,
up. And
keep
Joe,
going.
that's too soon.
keep going.
Favorite wakeboard trip?
Trip?
Yeah, the favorite trip you've been on.
Oh man,
Have you done a lot?
I can't pick one, but
I know when we went to Dubai was a lot of fun, but that's not it.
Yeah,
But
I
your
mean,
favorite one? We did POW. We did a lot of bro.
I would say
bro
anything
stocks
from
and POW.
Liquid Force with Lake Powell is just amazing.
Yeah.
time frame.
Um,
I can't pick one.
dead or alive, who would you take up in a chopper?
Ooh.
I don't know. I've never thought of that.
Well, you're thinking about it now?
I mean,
Like who do you want to show the world? I mean, you could even say like Kobe.
Robert De Niro?
I'd like to fly more with my dad. I told him I was talking to him today. Actually, I'm like, when did you last fly with me? And he's like, oh, I can't remember. I'm like, exactly.
Yeah, big Larry. Big
So
Larry.
that'd be cool to take him up more.
All right, Big
All
Larry.
right. Thing you miss most about shooting?
Quite a bit of leisure. I mean, work for yourself. Where you work for your own
Yeah.
pace.
Yeah,
That's pros and cons of that.
I like it.
What do you?
I really don't miss a whole lot, to be honest.
Yeah. What do you? Yeah. What do you miss What do you miss the least?
It's stressful, like there's a lot of trying to pay your bills, and you're relying on other people to come up with these images. That's the one of the hurdles shooting people. If you're shooting ice cream or buildings or something, they always show up.
Yeah,
And so you don't have to rely on the people factor. So
and it's like
there's pros and cons.
And it's like even when you're committed, like you were saying on with one of those old shoots, like you were there and doing a job and you're giving it your full, and maybe some other people aren't Like they're just like hanging out and thinking that just because you are doing your job doesn't mean that they don't have to help chip in and do it. And I get real mad about that where I'm like, dude, we're all here for the photo shoot. We all have to be working. Like, I'm not the only one doing something right now. Like, we all need everybody to. Anyways, what number am I thinking of?
7.
No.
Damn it. That was probably the fastest answer.
I want to know this answer. I want to know this number. Shane, is it the same? Is it the same number every time?
Yeah.
Every episode?
Yeah.
It's nice to know.
Well, how do you know?
Well,
I don't think anybody will ever get. Favorite thing about Captured? Maybe favorite memory, favorite thing. Like what was it about?
The ending.
The ending.
Done with it. The fact that it was over.
Finished that shit.
And the ending was pretty good too.
All right, this is good. Would you rather never hear music again, or only hear the song Captured that you opened the movie to?
I could be mute in my own thoughts if I could never listen to that song again.
Yeah. So no music.
You know what
forever.
editing is like. You hear a song and it's just like
Yeah. And I know Captured is like, and Captured's one's just like it can just
Captured.
Yeah. It's
I remember going over to Joey's house and looking over at slides. Joey's room had like a huge light table, and you would just like look at all these slides. And I put it on your computer. You go, turn that shit off. I was like, what? I go, that song. I go, okay.
Yeah.
Joey hates that song.
I couldn't edit at night either. Like, do you edit at night?
Yeah.
Well,
I can't go
to sleep. It's just repetition. I can't turn my head off. So I'd rather get up in the morning and can't do it at night.
I'll pick a few. I'll pick a few projects and bounce around whenever I'm getting like mad. I'll like move to the next and like sort of just bounce around. Like
Shane will find an hour and a half in a day to edit.
And then I'll like get into a video game and then I'll like listen to a podcast. No, okay. Favorite Bonifay?
God,
doesn't have to be one of us.
Betty.
Yeah, classic,
Betty's a good one.
Betty B, dude.
Yeah. Last time you played golf?
With you too long ago.
Yeah.
Probably
you gotta
2
get
months
back
now.
out there.
Yeah. I need some new clubs that aren't from the 80s.
Being a pilot or being a photographer?
Pilot all day long.
Yeah, love it.
Wish I started sooner.
Eggs, scrambled or fried?
Why are they so expensive and who gives a shit? What?
What?
Yeah,
Choppers?
Yeah, that was
Eggs.
Eggs?
You just said eggs.
Yeah, no, eggs, scrambled or fried. But no, but the reason why it's a lot.
Yeah, let's not dive into that
I don't want to get
stick
political.
to fried or scrambled.
We'll go scrambled.
Scrambled?
We'll like the prices. Scrambled.
Do you throw cheese on there?
Oh, I'm a cheeser. I love cheese.
Meat and cheese.
You guys know. Meat and cheese all day.
Who likes what more? Nev talking or Ruck gardening?
Wow. Can you hear crickets?
Yeah,
I'd say Nevin is a really good storyteller.
But you got to think about it. Does Nev like talking more than Ruck likes gardening? It's like almost like a word math problem. Like you can't figure. There's no real answer because both of them love the shit so much.
Have you thought of this?
I mean, now that he brings it up, I think Ruck has a passion for this stuff. Maybe
I think Ruck genuinely wants to garden, whereas Nevin can't help but talk. So it's not like Nev likes talking; he just can't help but talk and love talking.
I think Nevin and Ruck have equal green thumbs. You know what I mean?
in different ways.
And it makes them garden more and it makes them talk more.
Yeah, fair enough.
Very well said. Very
All
well
right,
said.
that was my
Nice,
rapid fires.
Shane.
You got one? Do you got one?
Yeah, rapid fire. No, I don't really have any rapid fires. You
right.
pretty much crushed them for me.
Yeah, I
right
did
there.
that. I did that.
That was well done, Shane.
There's
Joey, is there any companies is there any time that like how much do you like when you talked about like shooting for companies? You say ice cream's always there. Like when you're trying to come up with this creative kind of like, I mean, a lot of companies hire you to like do stuff and shoot their product, but they don't maybe give you so much like angle. Like, what does it feel like coming up with like ideas, or have been companies in the past that like shot down some of your ideas, or it doesn't work out, like kind of, or like imagine that happens more than not, maybe like within wakeboarding.
I mean, Fox was always really good to us.
Yeah.
We traveled all over. I was looking at this picture on the wall.
Oh yeah, we got a cleat one hanging up here.
Fox was a really good. Fox was a great brand because Todd and the brand really loved the people that they sponsored in wakeboarding and letting them do what they wanted to do. I feel like
for sure. And we did Hawaii for 5 years in a row. And then I'm like, and not that I took it for granted, but I was like, there's gonna be a day that I'm not coming back next year.
Back to Hawaii.
And then I went like 10 years, and then I'm like, I gotta go back. Like, just gotta make it happen. I went back by myself with my sister, and no wakeboarding. I'm like, this is cool too. But yeah, they always treated us well, and I feel like obviously Red Bull gives you plenty of leeway to expand on your ideas and back it.
Right.
So they're always really fun to work for. I did have a super terrible botched photo shoot for Red Bull at the depth charge.
Oh, really?
Oh man, depth charge.
Depth charge was a contest. When I first signed with Red Bull, we did a contest in a cave in Missouri in the Banter mines.
Not even a cave, a mine.
No, it was like a huge. No,
Did you
it's
go to
a
that
massive cave.
Depth charge.
Yeah, depth charge.
We went down like 200
A mine
feet.
shaft to like this
a
huge
mine shaft.
underground.
I mean,
cave.
it was a cave, but it was a mine shaft. It was the weirdest thing.
It was huge.
So I was right around, if I remember right, it was right around film digital transition that I was reluctant to do. And going into it, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I just don't know what I'm doing with digital, and like more comfortable with film, but I felt like I was outmatched. And it was so dark in there. It was all about lighting and flashes, and none of my stuff worked, of course. And I probably gave them like 5, maybe 10 shots.
Oh damn!
And talk about botch, and I knew it. And I knew it when I was shooting it. I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. Red Bull's never going to hire me again. And they did, but I felt so bad. I'm just like, and they had to report to somebody else, like, you paid this guy like to go there, and this is what he came up with.
I think
like,
it
I
was,
didn't give him squat. It was terrible.
but I think the whole concept, like even the wakeboarding was I don't want to say it was botched, but it was so hard to do anything.
That makes me feel better.
It was down in this mine shaft where there was all these fingers, and it just wiggled through here. They
Towed by a jet ski. We brought down all the lights, brought down all the rails, dropped them through. It was like a bonkers contest.
But like to act like that there was going to be all of this cool, crazy content was weird because nobody's ever done anything like this. And it's in the pitch dark. It's only these lights.
The lights that we had were like, they were like the ones you can't shoot slow-mo in, kind of like, so if you shot at like, it was like even 60 was like, it kind of had like
side and glance shoot that.
Yeah,
it was freezing.
But even
cold.
his footage, I watched his. It's like it looked kind. It
he
was
got more
hard
than I did.
Right, but it was hard to shoot. I think on
it
all
was
angles.
freezing cold too.
Yeah. No sunlight.
I remember it was like super hot. You would walk down this mine shaft, and it would be like 90 degrees, and you get to like one point, you could almost take one hand and put it into like 50-degree like temperature, and have like there was a solid line of like temperature change. That was like crazy. You would like paddle around on all these little kayaks and go into these like little side caves.
Such a
like
weird idea.
You remember, dude, if you go into one of these caves, you can't see your hand like in front. Like it is as black can get, dude. And like
none more black.
If you no more black, dude. It's like if you went in there and you couldn't find the door, like the out to the cave, like I don't, dude. It was an eerie, like humbling little feeling in there.
None more black,
dude.
That's very black.
It was black in your shirt.
You're in trouble if your flashlight didn't work for sure. But anyway, so yeah, that's
I
remember it. It was cool, like you said, being there.
It was very cool.
But yeah, figuratively, and literally.
Groundbreaking.
I blew it on that one.
What was some of the other things?
One thing I wanted to talk about was in that Fox shoot when me and Danny did the toe ends. We're actually going to do I have that right here? Oh yeah, I got it right here. So we're going to give this.
Sweet.
We're going to give this away maybe on a future episode.
How many of those you got? I want one of those.
Actually, yeah, I'll give you one. This is Todd Hicks sent me a pamphlet of these things, but it's
cool.
me doing toe ends at with Danny Harf. Ryan Rawson was towing us. Kalani Robb was out there, and this is outside of what was forget the name of it. Anyways, forget the name of it. Shouldn't say it anyways, but it's I'm pretty psyched with the shot. It's probably the biggest wave that we ever did toe-ins on. So,
and I shot that right, I think.
Yeah. I believe you did.
So Kalani, I met Kalani Robb at this shoot, and he's like, "Yeah, jump on the back of the Sea-Doo." And I've never been in waves like that, and I'm like freaking out. And I was like, knew he was going to put me in the right spot. And I'm like, "Do I need a water housing for the camera?" And he's like, "No, you'll be dry." Freaking out with like the mist and the spray, and I'm like, "I need to get close because of the lens I had." And I don't know, I got one good one, I guess. But yeah, that was, I'll never forget that, riding on the back of the Sea-Doo.
Dude, that one, that photo is not from the Sea-Doo. That's like definitely from up.
I wish I had Joey's shot from the Sea-Doo.
You're right.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
obviously
right.
your
There's
one from the
something
Sea-Doo is
similar.
not that good.
Probably.
Just joking.
You nailed it. Got me.
No. I believe you. Shooting in salt water is so hectic. I hate shooting in salt water.
Do you ever shoot snow when you were Joey? You moved to Tahoe like when you first started. When you said you moved out west when you started flying helicopters.
Yeah, so I left Orlando.
Did you ever shoot like any?
No,
snow?
that was my kind of one. I thought I was going to meet some people through the grapevine, and but yeah, I never did. I had a little studio set up and everything. I started Ubering right away when I just to get some money coming in, and I really enjoyed it. It was super fun. You get to know the town, and you're in a ski town, so it's like everyone's super chill. And I would get up super early to make the airport runs because it was the best money. And it was like 4 a.m. You wake up. Each run was like $100, so I could do like 4 or 5 in a day. I was like, it's pretty good money. Keep this up. So one morning I get a call, and the name says Daniel, and I would always call him like, you got any snowboards? You got any equipment so I can get the car ready? Or you have too many people, or I can't pick you up. I can't take you. He's like, no, yeah, we're ready. It's just 2 of us. Cool, show up. And it's Danny Davis.
Shut the fuck up.
And they're hammered. And they're still awake from the night before. And his sun's coming up. And
what a good intro to Tahoe right there.
yeah, and I'm like, dude, and he's got a Mountain Dew hat on. And he's like super big beard. And there's 2 of them. They got a bunch of beers. And I was like, I don't care if you have beer. Just don't spill it, whatever. And they're like, well, you don't think we know how to drink beer? And I'm just like, oh, great.
Oh, God, here we go.
I'm like, dude, cool, here we go. And we started chit-chatting. He's like, what do you do? I've never seen you before. And I'm like, yeah. And I told him I was a photographer. And he like clammed up. And then I see his Mountain Dew hat. I'm like, this guy's somebody. I didn't know who he was. I kind of maybe recognized him, but yeah, it turns out it was Danny Davis. And I was just dropping him off to another house. But
he clammed up when you mentioned you were a photographer. Though.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, this guy might know who I am better. But yeah, he's an Olympian, so that was cool. I got to Uber him.
That's pretty good.
Joey, I always try to explain my friends here in Claremont. They go, excuse me. I'd rather be in an airplane because if the engine dies. If you're in a helicopter, you fall straight out of the air. And I always try to explain to them. I go, no, a helicopter, if the engine falls out, you can actually like fly this thing down. I've tried to like tell them this. So my question to you, Joey Meddock, you have 1 minute. Can you walk us through how to land a chopper if your engine goes out from 1,000 feet? 1 minute.
70 knots, inner knot rotation, collective all the way down, throttle off, right pedal, aft cyclic, RPM, airspeed, eyes outside, pitch check, watch your RPMs, needle drops, drop collective, needle goes up, raise a collective, RPM, airspeed, eyes outside, hit your spot, flare at the bottom, touchdown perfect.
Time. Oh, man.
Well,
That was pretty good.
Before you
10
showed
seconds?
up, before you showed up, Park said, I'm going to ask him this question.
you better know how to do that shit.
Definitely not the answer I thought I was going to get. I thought he was going to be like, yeah, you do this, you throttle here.
I think this is
that was impressive.
That was pretty impressive,
Yeah.
Joe. I think this is that almost like the number one. They teach you to get up and like pretty much get down from because that almost like the worst thing that can happen. Like I mean, besides like
There's a lot of things that go wrong.
No,
but
yeah.
That's an auto rotation, and you practice them from the first lesson in flight school. Now that I'm have more of a career job, you don't do them as much. But when you do check rides, it's called. They make sure you know how to do them. And right before I got this job, the last day, we did like 15 autos. He's like, do another one, and you straight in auto. You do a hover auto, and you can do a 180 auto. They're all a little bit different, but you better know that one that back of your head. So.
Joe, I loved that. Okay, it was a while ago, but it was like sort of right when wakeboarding was on the back end for me, and we were in touch, and I was talking to you, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And this is like right when you were going. This is probably 5 years ago, maybe 4, whatever. But you said you were like, I fly a lot and I do a lot of these like little touristy things where I'm like just flying families or flying a group of people around and talking about stuff. And he was like, Shane, I think you would be really good at
I still
this.
believe that.
I think you would be really good at just being personal with these people. You'd have fun. You'd be able to talk them through this. And I think you would be able to learn how to fly like
I like
chopper.
that. That's the last part of it. You give it all this like you're friendly, you're good
No,
charisma,
but, like-
all this shit. Yeah,
no,
but
but,
like,
like,
what
he
about
knows-
flying the fucking chopper?
No, but I think he knows that like I could if I cared, if I wanted to. He was like, I think you could go through the schooling. It's it's not cheap. It takes a lot of time, but if you're wondering what you want to do, you should look at this because I'm having a blast. And when I do fly, you're the first person I think of whenever I think of if anybody else would enjoy this.
I still stand by
I think Joey's dead wrong on this.
I honestly I think about that quite a bit. And I even told my wife, Paige, I was like, Joey thinks like this is cool. But it's like fruitful.
Why don't you?
Shane, let me back. Okay, let me
Hey,
preface.
come on. No.
I love
but
like
all
sugar.
of the viewers are only seeing me like 6 beers deep talking on a podcast. That's not fair. I'm a different person sometimes.
I like everyone glazing Shane up about how he has the potential to be this great helicopter pilot. Shane has
That's
been
not
in
what we're saying.
Shane has been in more fender benders than you can imagine driving his fucking cars all through the fucking
they're
year.
fender benders. There are no major accidents.
Dude. Skydiving, you have like 30 jumps and you've
Fender benders.
almost died. Like you make bad decisions under critical things. I think helicopter piloting is not what is. Maybe you should be like the charmer.
All of those are just very relaxed, not worrying about it. The skydiving things, that's like me getting too comfortable. It's just things. It's just
you
things.
said in the skydiving thing, you don't care about things that you should care about.
But that was because I got
There's
comfortable.
a lot of things.
And a chopper.
Joe's.
No, I got his back.
All right,
Thank you. I thought you were about to flip because you made a very good argument, and I was like, "Damn, I think he's about to flip."
No, I'm an instructor too, and I could teach Shane. Like, I think he'd be really good at it. To be honest,
Red Bull let us hover helicopters one time.
Let me get a little pound there.
Hover some helicopters. It is insanely hard to just like
Super
keep it the
sensitive.
same way with the yaw on the pedals and kind of like it is way more. That throttle is crazy, like sensitive. We were just like 5 feet off the ground, just kind of like there. The goal was to like hover in one spot. And we were like, and
very sensitive.
we were in like a trainer chopper to where they had the controls and we had that. It wasn't like we had the whole thing, but like it was pretty. I had a whole new tip to you of the cap on helicopter, like flying that stuff. I mean, I'm pretty good on video games and Battlefield. I can fly a chopper pretty good on that.
Oh, dude, don't even bring
and
me
my drone skills.
I got so many hours on the chopper on Battlefield. I'm so good.
Joe, what do you think?
My favorite one is I have my CDL, which is a truck driver's license.
Right.
People say that a lot when I fly tours. They're like, "Oh, I got my CDL. I could do this." I'm
As
like,
a passenger, do they
I'm
say
like,
that?
You drive a truck.
I can relate, dude. I got him a CDL.
I'm like, cool, yeah. I'm like, you could do this. No, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but
Can you do a Rubik's Cube too?
and it's not that hard. It just takes persistence, and without I tell people you have a never give up attitude. Just keep sticking with it. I'm an absolute idiot. I pulled it off. Anybody could do it. You will not learn it overnight. No
Not
matter.
only are you an idiot, but you have 2 bad wrists and 2 bad elbows.
Still pulled it off. Man.
Numb
Still
fingers
pulled
pulled
it
it off.
off.
Maybe Shane could fly.
Numb,
Yeah.
numb dumb fingers. But yeah, anybody could do it. It's really once you're doing it, it's like it's just learning another language, really.
Yeah.
And Shane can't. And we
No matter
both
how-
can't speak.
No,
another language.
I can't. I tried learning another language. It didn't go very good.
It's a lot of fun.
What do you
And I do think you should do it, and you can do it.
No,
and
I ain't doing it.
You have the
I
right
ain't
frame
doing
for
it.
it.
I already, we're revamping Pointless. I got another job. We're filming now.
All right.
Doing
Shane's got
something.
some
weight
Still
to
on
pull
the
right
same
now.
one, yeah.
Well, let me know if you need an
And
aerial.
Parks has me doing this fucking podcast and shit. So it's like,
Well, if you need an aerial vehicle, let me know.
yeah,
I'll fly
no,
with
hey,
you.
dude, I would love to go flying with you sometime.
Too bad you can't take photos and like fly, huh? You could just like multitask, like use the best of your best skills
Yeah.
nowadays to
I'd love to
collab.
shoot for like film and Hollywood stuff would be really cool.
What do you think of the chopper pilots back in the day? Now that you
Oh my
are a
God.
chopper pilot, like I'll show the photo of
Preston.
there's one from Defy that like you see the chopper sideways and Rusty's doing a trick, but he's like the blades look like if it was level, they would be hitting them or whatever. It was a photo that you sent me. So,
Oh,
but
that
like
was,
those
Aaron
guys,
Rathie.
do you think those guys
Is that
are
Rathie?
Rathie?
Yeah.
Rathie. But like, what do you think of him?
That pilot?
Yeah. Like now that
I don't really
you're a helicopter pilot, like it was the one
That picture was-
what's the one
that
that
picture
shot
was
with Murray and
pretty-
stuff? Like he was the same. We used the same. Preston was the
Preston.
same one that flew for Prime.
Okay.
We used to fly all the 12 honky
That
stuff.
one was it was a little lower than I would have put myself in. That's if you look at a skid, it's like 2 feet off the water.
Right.
If you snag that skid, people are dying, and you just don't need to be that close, in my opinion. But made it for a cool photo.
Yeah.
The picture's crazy, but yeah, the skid is close. Not much. Not to mention the
Are you
blades.
so are you knocking him or are you applauding him?
I don't think it was a good spot to be in if it was me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Preston
gets low.
Preston,
and
but he knows what he's doing.
he's got some years on you. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
And Preston would fly in snakeskin boots.
Nick Taylor flies barefoot.
I mean, but at least barefoot you have feel. I feel like flying in that'd just be like I fly a chopper in like snowboard boots or something.
No, yeah, it's like picking your nose with gloves on. You're like, what are you doing?
Dude, he would get low, man. I watched him like that. The tail rudder like hit the water, like fluff the water one time, and just water go flying.
Is that crazy hitting a tail rudder?
Oh yeah, I can take you out. Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot that could go wrong. Usually, when you're riding wakeboarding and you're going to pay for the helicopter, the wind's pretty calm, so the riding's better,
kind of manageable.
So it's a little more manageable. You can kick that thing all over the place. I've done some photo flights. You can fly that thing pretty aggressive.
Does glass water scare you? Because I remember when we did the heli tow,
You want some
we textured the water. We didn't want it like perfect glass because it was actually when we did
Is
heli
it
tow
harder
at Blue Lake,
for him to see?
He has no almost depth. It's almost like when they throw rocks off of like really high jumps. They're like they're probably counting like the pace of like how it gets down. And then they're also like texturing the water when they get down there. But like
it's a perception thing. So
and
wind helps the helicopter not work as hard because it's getting lift. So
you're fighting you'd rather have zero kind of like your control of everything to where
No, you'd want some wind coming into the helicopter. Yeah, it's not using as much engine power basically.
It doesn't matter which direction it is. You just want some.
You want a headwind.
Well, tailwind you would fall, headwind you're going to lift. But I thought like zero wind you would be like you would feel the controls like more pure.
Zero wind, it's a smooth ride, but the helicopter's working harder. Yeah, you want a little bit of wind. It gives it natural lift. It's like
What do you think about drone pilots?
If you put your arm out the window, when you're stopped, your arm doesn't lift. You're in 50 mile an hour down the highway, your arm's going to go up.
Do you think you could run? Do you think you could fly a drone like a beast, like better than an average drone pilot?
No, that's a whole different skill. But that's a lot of video game background will really help you there.
Then it seems like I know what I should get into.
Do you think what
BT kills it?
Do you think what digital photography did to saturate the market in photographers? Do you think that when like person-sized quad drones do you think that'll take over and kind of like metaphorically kill like the helicopter pilot? Do you think the whole market of like flying choppers will be a quad chopper in the future and really easy, almost dumbed down to like control as opposed to like really knowing like how to fly like a proper chopper?
Good question, P.
I think they both have uses for both. Like I flew for the news here in town. And we went to shoot the manatees migrating. And I'm like, this could be done with a drone.
Right.
This is stupid. And they're just like paying for this circling. And then
it's actually probably more or worse for the manatees to have an actual drone. I mean, an actual chopper
vibration.
Yeah.
And then the producers on the ground are communicating with us. Well, they forget that you're in the air and you're circling. And then I'm talking to the camera guy. I'm like, how many circles do we need to do? Like, this is, and then I'm in my head, I'm like, this could be done with a drone. This is stupid.
Yeah.
There's but how stupid is it when you're up there getting paid for it? You're doing what you love, and you're kind of like, you're like as a money spender thinking on his behalf. That's kind of dumb.
Yeah. So
that was well said.
But yeah, there's purposes for both.
Yeah.
But there could be, will it be flying vehicles? I mean, they're doing it already. There's like one man. I don't know how an emergency procedure works in those things because like batteries die. Like there's procedures for, when shit hits a fan.
Does the auto rotation landing work for the same for a drone as it would a chopper? Like if let's say batteries go out, can a drone technically?
I don't know how they sync.
AI land? Yeah.
But you could do like an RC helicopter, same aerodynamics. So you could get into settling with power, it's called, and the helicopter just falls out of the sky, RC. Because it's got too much tailwind and has no lift, and you're descending more than you need to be.
Damn.
So the same principle happens with RC.
All right, Joe, and you brought some pilot stickers that were actually every time La Familia came into the studio, they put a sticker on the sticker board, and this is Shane's sticker board he had in his house for like the last 20 years. This thing is timeless. So
yeah, it is.
I think they're down there.
I got them right here.
They're down there.
We got
I told you I need to warm up. This thing's not going to feel very well.
Boom.
Let me see. Give me 20 minutes. I'll get this thing ready.
Yeah, so, it takes a while for Joey to peel this off.
What is Pilot Circle? Give us a little rundown.
I'll race you.
Really
Damn,
bad.
this is really hard. See how good you can multitask.
I started a YouTube channel. It's called Pilot Circle. I was trying to think of.
I got it.
Oh damn, you beat me. Really?
I thought I had. Yeah, I got it.
Sweet. All right, going for the stick.
All right, stickers going on. Oh, nice placement.
Real nice placement.
Yeah, what is Pilot Circle?
It's a pretty good placement. So it's a YouTube channel I started and trying to make use of my instructor knowledge a little bit. And so I made, it's called Heli 101. Well, one of the things on the channel is called Heli 101. It's an instructional series.
Oh.
It's 101 videos consecutively Monday through Friday. And I'm like, as of recording right now, we're about 30 videos in.
101 videos. Damn, this sounds like a thick goal in front of you right here, dude.
So number 30 came out today, but this morning I finished recording number 75. So I'm
cool, man.
Pretty far in front of it, and hopefully it won't catch up to me. But
we'll put a link up. We'll put a link up at the end of this episode. We'll make sure that we put a link up to one of your things.
Yeah, they're all 2 minutes or less, so they're kind of quick digest. And it's just like if you're interested in becoming a pilot or just learning,
Like Shane,
learning more about it,
like me.
Yep. So yeah, it's just good snippets of information. And I promise you, if you watch the videos, like it'll shorten the learning curve if you're going into flight school.
Sick, man. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've enjoyed doing it, and it's kind of a refresher for me. Like refresh all.
Is that a big part of what you're doing in flying the chopper right now? Is like, have you done a lot of instruction?
No. So what I'm doing now is an EMS job. So I just got, which is really awesome.
What's EMS?
EMS is emergency medical services. So it's
Okay.
essentially a flying ambulance.
It's a good thing you don't know what that is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I do. I was just letting the viewers.
If you're ever in one, you're probably unconscious, and it's the worst day of your life. You don't transport dead people, but if you're on the
They're taking the ground road, huh?
it's a waste of resources essentially. So if you're savable, they're gonna call the helicopter to come get you and save your life. So it's super rewarding to help your community and
Appreciate what you do, Joe. Nice, man. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
First responder, Joey Meddock.
Pretty crazy stuff.
I've got
have you seen some?
I've got a couple discounts at Chick-fil-A for my first
Yeah. Have you
responder.
seen some crazy stuff though? Like you picking up?
Not yet, thankfully.
How long you been doing it?
I'm about 2 months in now. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So early on.
So give it time, but
Yep.
but yeah, I think it's gratifying, making a difference in people's lives and
Absolutely.
in the community, and
Yeah. I mean, you're literally saving people's lives.
yeah, you're part of that triangle. You're not going to win every battle, but there's you do what you can, and if it's their time to go, it's time to go. That's how it works. So.
So part of you think that you're just costing them a lot of money at the same time, though, too.
Yeah, you try not to get into the politics
Yeah,
of the insurance and stuff, but yeah, it's super rewarding, and it's a cool pace. I work 7 days on, 7 days off, and I love it. So and this has been my goal from the very beginning of flight school is to get to
This is EMS.
And
EMS, yeah,
those are
cool.
bigger choppers too. Like it's not a small little.
It's relatively small, but there's opportunity to grow with the company and get into bigger aircraft, and paycheck kind of follows the bigger aircraft. So
Yeah.
So
but
there is
super-
ways that you can like kind of move up within the EMS.
there's lots of longevity with the company. So
Cool.
and this has been my goal from the beginning. I just got hired, so I'm super psyched, and this is something I'll stick with through retirement. So pretty pumped.
Nice.
That's sick, man.
What do
Good
you
for
Thanks.
when you watch Black Hawk Down? What do you think? You think you could have got out of that situation?
I don't know the story too well. There's
There
another.
ain't no getting that. I watched.
No,
the
yeah, no,
documentary.
you're not
This-
getting out
this
of it.
was-
I just wanted to see if he thought
There's
he could.
another one called Apache Warrior. Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so.
This thing just gets shot up, and it still flew him home, and it's crazy. That's a pretty
Damn.
cool story, but yeah, the big helicopters are a different level. But
Yeah.
that's military stuff. I don't have a military background. I just went to total career shift from photography. I wanted some stability. I've always chosen jobs that are fun. Definitely a risk taker in my day-to-day life, and there was a lot of job stability in flying because you're always gonna have a job following hospitals, and so yeah, I've always I worked at Performance, went to SeaWorld, blew out many photography for 20 years, drove an Uber, went to flight school.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean,
And what did you learn in Uber that like helped you become a pilot? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
no, but really, Joe, I think like what you said, man. You said you take chances, and I think that's something like that's almost like unsaid about you is like, I mean, for not just like from picking up the camera and just taking the chance you did with that, starting the standards, started like when you had a paying check with magazines and you owned a house, like everything was like working, and you took a chance, and the timing was bad, and then the carpal tunnel and helicopters and flying and moving to California is just like, I really like respect you, like really getting out of your comfort zone and like kind of like taking a chance on some shit that like that you kind of like are unknowing about, and you're always willing to like just like do the extra. I mean, Wake Journal too. It seems like you're really, and now the YouTube, like
it was
the
always,
pilot. Like I don't have we don't Bonifay stickers. Banter stickers don't look that fucking good, man. You're
it was
you're
always
just really
commitment.
good.
It was commitment and like never relinquishing on just doing it to the best ability that you could. Like even, starting the cameras. You became the best photographer in wakeboarding. And then you moved to
everything you do, you like really do it right.
You didn't half-ass anything, and when you decide to do something, you do it to a full extent, and that's really
thanks.
It's very impressive.
You want life to live. You can't be afraid to take risks, whether it's real estate or your occupation, or and have fun while you're doing it. All jobs are going to suck at some point, so you might as well pick some that are fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like if flying, you're going to die at some point. Like if make the best of your time on Earth, you never know when that's going to happen. And I believe I'm here for a reason, and I'm flying this air ambulance with purpose, and I feel like that's what I should be doing right now. And I'm a faithful person. Things happen for a reason, and got into this role for the reason that I don't understand yet. But you do things. Put your heart into it and follow through. Don't be afraid to take risks.
Yeah.
And you never know when it's your last day. And if the helicopter takes me out, and so be it. I've had like such an amazing career and been able to do so much cool shit. Like.
Yeah.
If you're helping your community, and what a noble way to go if that's how it's going to end.
I mean, it's
better to go in a chopper than die of a photography carpal tunnel.
Yeah, you could be Elvis taking a dump and die on the toilet. That sucks.
I mean, it's the coolest shit.
Yeah, so I feel like
especially to spend your time in a chopper. Like I've gotten in a chopper a few times, and it is just beautiful. It's the coolest.
Do you think you get aviation from your dad a little bit? A lot of people don't know listening that Big Lair, Joey's dad, which we call Big Lair through the episode, he's really into remote control airplanes and actually building them. Like the process of this is like pretty insane, and it's impressive. And I think that like the apple falls pretty much straight under the tree on some kind of level. Would you kind of agree with that?
He's definitely a huge RC aficionado. And he's told me before, he's like, man, if I could do it all over again, I'd be in the Coast Guard being a helicopter pilot. So he's very
cool. He's proud of you, huh?
Lives vicarious to me. He tells me all the time, how proud he is. And that's something too, like, never your friends, like tell them how much you love them. You never know it's going to be the last time type of stuff. And I've always been like that. Like, just appreciate your friends. And
yeah.
And I was watching a thing on the news the other day about the Malibu fires where a gold medalist like lost everything. He was a swimmer or something. He had like 5 gold medal or 5 medals,
and they get burnt.
Yep, lost everything, lost the medals. And did you see the story on the news? The Olympic Committee like replaces medals.
That's cool.
And they were interviewing him. They're like, "Man, what do you need?" He's got nothing, and he just said something that stuck with me. He's like, "I got friends." He's like, "Friends are so much more valuable than things."
And he's like lost his
he didn't have shit.
Yeah.
And so the Olympics replaces medals, which was cool. But he's like, I'm not.
He's like, I have no house or no clothes, but thanks for the gold medals, Olympics.
Well, the point was he wasn't worried.
Yeah, his friend.
He's like, I got family, I got a support group, I got people around me. He's like, oh, I'm good. He's like, I'll be fine.
No,
take some crazy things.
And even like you said that your dad was proud of you, and you like almost did something that he would have wanted to do. And I mean, me and Parks can both relate because we got to do something that Peter B was 100% proud of. Like to see his 2 kids grow up and become professional wakeboarders and do what he was doing and take it to a whole nother level. Like I would have hated if, Peter B passed away and we weren't even like water skiing or doing something that he raised us doing and loved so much love. And then it's a big thing for me that I'm like, my dad is very proud of how me and Parks grew up.
And now that he's passed away, I've replayed that. Like we were driving down and I remember him saying, he goes, I just want to let you know how proud I am of you and Shane and what y'all become and stuff. And like, that shit resonates, man. And to know that you made your pops proud is
Exactly.
It's huge, man.
And I could see that, like, I call Parks Peter B.
And I call him Big Lair.
And it was so evident how proud your parents, both of them, are of you guys, and just being vocal about that and expressing it's super cool.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah.
Cheers, Peter B.
Cheers
Cheers
to Peter
to
B.
Peter
Let's
B.
get Peter B and get a couple. And we even got people in the garage making some noise right now.
Yeah,
for Peter
thank
B.
you guys.
Yeah, if you don't know where they came from.
And Betty B, of course.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
Betty B. You know
Betty
B.
B is always.
She's like, I'm wearing half a pant leg over here.
Yeah, chop it up, Betty B.
What do
Oh
we
man,
wanna do?
we got a couple more crazy stories that Joey wants to tell, and he was man. Joey sent a list of stuff like that we could like possibly talk about, and I was going to put it on the spin wheel just so we could hit like a couple crazy stories.
see
But
which
actually,
story.
in retrospect, we pretty much like went through
we
a
did. We
lot of
checked
that
off a
stuff.
lot of them,
We
yeah.
checked off a lot of things, but there's a couple left. There's a Colin Spoon story.
But it was even crazy because when you sent the list, it would just be like Robert De Niro, spoons, Halloween costumes, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Jesus,
night
like, what-
neighbor. I'm like,
it was like, what is this list, dude? Like, no, but it was. But one of the stories that I do know that I didn't understand whenever I just saw spoons on the list was it's this great story. And I want Joey just to start it, and I'll chime in when I can, but.
I don't even think I really know that. Maybe it does.
It
Maybe
is.
it'll click
This is.
when
It's just a funny, weird. It's from the hood. It's from 2612. Colin Harrington in the hood.
Yeah.
You go.
So Colin lives at your house.
Does
Yeah.
it need some? Does it need a little music, Ray?
No, not that one. God, he doesn't know his buttons
Go
yet.
ahead.
So I think I'm still living with Eric. I lived with Eric for a couple of years, and Colin and Shane live together, which is like 5 doors down the street. And I gave Colin's nickname is Colin for nothing. And because he would call you and you're like, did I call you or did you call me? Like, what the fuck do you want?
Doing calling for nothing.
And he called for nothing, but he just like, he just wanted to just like, and he was silent on the phone. And you're like, dude, what do you want?
What do you?
You
want?
called me.
Yeah.
And like, not in a bad way, but it's just like, dude, what do you want, Colin? So from like his name in my phone is for nothing.
Yeah. No, same.
And so, and he's the nicest dude, one of my best friends. I love him to death. And but he's super gullible. You know, gullible's not in the dictionary.
It's not. That's just something that we've come to.
Burned him. You burned him. You got him, Joe.
Damn it!
I knew that was coming, dude.
Motherfucker.
That was
Okay.
genuine right there.
That
Dude,
was
you sold
genuine.
it pretty good though. Like I'm gonna play it back, dude. You're like when you looked at me,
Yeah.
like damn.
No.
All right,
Colin,
fair enough.
So Colin,
For nothing. Speaking of shit, this is a shit story. So for nothing is so gullible. So me, Eric, and Clay Fletcher, Clay Dog,
Yeah,
we're
Clay.
chilling in the backyard at Eric's house, and Colin is in the neighborhood's kind of like open door policy. All the homies are just gonna in and out of each other's houses whenever, and and Colin's getting scuba certified the next day. You don't know this story? God, it's great. This joke lasted for like 10 years. So Colin leaves his booties over at Ruck's house, and they're like taped booties for scuba diving for the next day. And me, Eric, Clay were sitting out there and we're drinking beer, and I'm like, Colin left his booties down here and he's got scuba tomorrow. Let's pee in his booties and fill it with urine to the top. and they're taped boots, so they're not, the piss won't go anywhere. And then Clay's like, I think Clay or somebody else brings it up. They're like, let's shit in the boot.
Okay. You knew I was gonna get one.
And
up.
well, we're always one up it. Like, there's no doubt about
And so
it. Like,
when you pick it up, you'd feel this thing like tapping the walls in the boot.
right,
you
right,
feel
yeah,
the
yeah.
poo, you
Yeah,
feel
there's
the poo in the boot.
Poo in the boot. So we go in the yard and what was it? Eric's dog's name at the time?
Rufus.
It was Rufus. So we grab Rufus's turd and put it in there. But we tell Colin it's a human turd when he finds it. And so we're like, we had this elaborate story because we knew Colin would believe it. And he comes over the next day, grabs his boots filled with piss and
shit.
Rufus's shit. And we're like, yeah, they're like, Clay had a spoon and Joe was squatting and shit in the spoon and put it in the boot. and Colin buys it.
Holy shit!
And for
For a
some
long time.
for the longest time, and then Colin was like, he was like obsessed. Well, like, where's the spoon? Like that mattered.
Like, yeah, like this story is not believable because there's no spoon in the boot.
We threw it in the canal. Buys that. He goes in the canal and looks for the spoon. And then
He's trying to fact check you by like finding.
there's no spoon in the canal. The spoon and
He's as gullible as I was 5 minutes ago.
the spoon doesn't exist. I didn't squat over clay pooping in a spoon. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, it didn't happen. And so Colin's like, all right, I'm gonna get you back, and like he's like so docile.
And Colin's one to think that he's going to get you back, and it's never going to be as elaborate as it actually
Yeah, so
is.
he like, I went out of town. Was it at your house with the spoons on the fan, or was that at Eric's?
I think it was mine.
So we maybe like in Colin's room, we put a spoon on every fan blade.
I remember
And then
this.
turned it on, so there's spoons flying around, and like he would know what it was. So anyway, that's pretty much the extent of the joke. And but we told Colin, we're like, dude, this.
But I think it even got to the point where somebody used a spoon to like I don't want to say he made coffee or tea, but like we made like a coffee and we're like, oh, and poured milk and sugar into it and handed it to him, and then was just like, you know where that spoon's from?
Yeah.
And he was like, what? And it's just, but it's all such a fabricated thing. It's back to the gullible. Like it's none of it actually was ever. I don't think they even pissed in it. I think it was probably rainwater.
It was 100%.
Okay, it was 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys are drinking beers. They gotta go. But that's
It was 100% Rufus's turn too.
No, but it was just so funny.
What was awesome was Colin just kept incriminating himself. Was he would retell the story, like Joe shit in a spoon and Colin or Clay put it in the boot, and
so he went on and just like told this story.
He kept it going. This is for years. And I'm like, and I go, Colin. And so I told myself, I'm like, when Colin gets married, I'm going to tell the story at his wedding.
Did you tell him yet?
Yeah. And he goes, no, dude, I knew. He's like,
yeah, no, he definitely did not know. He definitely did not know.
Like 10 years, he just figured that out.
Yeah.
He's like, I wanted to see how long you were going to keep telling it, but I'm like, whatever.
What's even great is I'm going to go shoot. We're going to Lake Powell, and Colin's coming to shoot. Colin's coming on the Liquid Force shoot, and this episode's probably going to air right before then, and I just hope that Colin actually ends up listening to it so we can be like, I'm gonna pull a spoon out and just fucking get him.
So yeah, that was Colin and I.
It was just such a good long joke of just spoons, like because every time you'd use a spoon around Colin, you'd be like, you know what this spoon's from?
This is the one. So yeah, that was a classic. Collins, I love that guy.
I know a lot of our viewers are just probably listening to us just ramble about stories that we just had fun with.
Stories never die, dude.
Stories never die.
We gotta tell them, dude.
Yep.
And we got a reply from Ricky Carmichael throwing some flames on the Rusty thing today, which sparked a whole story with Joey. And I was like, "What the fuck is this Ricky Carmichael meat story?" And I was like, "But this is actually pretty fucking."
I put I see Carmichael posted on. He like put a heart on the Bonifay Banter post that you did, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!"
Shout out
Ricky
Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, Carmichael's listening to our stuff. I love that.
I know, right?
Well, if we collab with Rusty,
yeah, true.
no.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember the story. So we have a shared note, and I put on the note, I said, Carmichael hibachi meat was like the clue you got.
That's a cliff notes of it.
That was a cliff note. So I got to shoot RC out at his place. This was for Nautique. They gave him a boat back in the day. And
smart deal.
we went out. Yeah. So I got some cool pictures of him. The most amazing down to earth guy. Super cool.
Yeah,
he actually, he grew up in like Tallahassee area.
Yeah.
My sister met him a couple times too on the lake when she was slalom skiing up there. And so anyway, we finished the shoot and go out to dinner, go to hibachi, and you know the cooks like
Japanese steakhouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cooks like really get into it. Oh, Japanese egg roll, and you know all their little jokes. That they
Yep.
make.
My favorite.
The volcano.
Volcano, you know, typical spot. And I get this super chewy piece of meat, and I spit it out on my plate. And I don't know if RC saw me do it or what, but there's a bad piece of meat, and I'm still, eating around it. Well, there's a kid. He's like, I don't know, 10 years old or something, next to us, and he was like all involved in us because we're like laughing.
I mean, he's mesmerized by the choo-choo train volcano.
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff.
like watching.
yeah.
His table's not ready. They're getting prepped, and he's like watching us. And the cook's coming around. He's like, oh, this kid looks hungry, and like he's doing his jokes and stuff. Well, he grabs my chewed up piece of meat and flicks it to the kid, and he catches it in his mouth.
He goes, "You catch it," and he just grabbed
and
your...
he eats it. And I'm just like, no, not that piece, but it was too late, and I lost it, dude.
Dude, imagine like a movie like happening. He goes, "You catch it right now," and he throws it up, and Joey just goes in the
slow-mo.
air. You're like,
Slow-mo.
"No."
Yep.
And you like almost look at the kid and go, "Don't catch," and you look back at it. You're like, "No," all in your head.
It's like a Geico commercial.
And then what are the chances?
Down the hatch.
Out of 10 times, how many times is this kid catching this piece of steak?
Yeah, he got it.
No, but what I'm saying, what are the
sushi
chances?
chef?
I
It depends on the Kobe chef.
It's a little bit of both. I'm just saying for this, it could have fell on the floor, is what I'm saying. This story's not cool. Like for the fact this kid caught it was pretty
Catches it.
spot on, dude.
Our table, I told the story. I'm like, dude, that was the piece of meat, and laughed so much. Every time I go to hibachi to this day, I think of that.
That's
Dude,
good.
I love the Big Spin story. We went up to the Robata here in Claremont one time, and they have this bottle, and they fill it up with sake, and you can they'll just spray it in your mouth.
Yeah.
As long as you hold your mouth open, 1, 2, he'll just keep on going and going and going, and like people take advantage of this. If you want to get free sake, you just like hold it open and you can go as long as you want. But they go to Big Spence and he goes, "Open your mouth." And then Big Spence is all, "No, dog, I'm good. He's like, "Open your mouth right now." And Spence is all, "No, dog." He goes, "Open your mouth." And then the dude just goes and starts spraying Big Spence in the face. Like all it is, he denied it 3 times. He just starts spraying him. And Big Spence is like 6'5", 6'4", and like 330 pounds.
Yeah.
3 plus pounds. Big boy. And he falls out of this chair and is rolling around and goes, "My eyes, dog, my eyes, dude." And the whole restaurant is like turned around, like looking like, what the hell is going on, dude?
God.
Japanese Steakhouse brings out the heat in stories, man.
Dude,
There's got to be some. We need to write a
love
book. There needs to be a book about like Japanese steakhouse stories or like Waffle House stories.
Oh no!
Maybe
What I was
Awful
going,
House
I was
stories.
just going to say.
I'm going to
Don't
delete that.
No, Chad. Yeah, we'll take that out. We'll
We'll take
bleep
that
it.
out.
We'll bleep it because I don't want Google to steal it.
I don't want 100%. No one's stealing that shit.
We'll tell Joe whenever the
Tell
cameras
Joe
are off
after.
about.
Sorry, I had to
weapons
delete
right
my idea. Patreon members,
Yeah.
you
We'll-
don't even get this.
We'll give you no. We'll give you
I'm
that
just
one.
joking.
What was I? I was just going to say. Oh yeah, no. My favorite is that anytime you go to a Japanese steakhouse, I will know because it's on your Instagram story because you love filming strangers, not knowing that
It's called Fire-Faced.
it's fire-faced. Yeah, they don't know that. You pick the one out of the 9
I
people
shoot
that are
wide
at the
and then
table.
crop in.
Yeah, and you're like, this dude doesn't know that the fire is about to happen, so you film him.
I filmed the whole table, secretly. I kind of just like pretend like I'm filming him, and then
Parks loves
This is
it.
pre-volcano.
I was waiting for the fire to go, and I had my camera just rolling, and then like when the fire would go, like I would crop in on the most like distorted like kid's face because I knew. And then some people are like cool with the fire, but some people were like just like appalled by it or whatever. And
catch a little kid.
I would grab that screen grab and I posted it and I was hashtag Fireface. So people got blasted, strangers got blasted through the years.
You've already done this?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done it in a while.
You catch a little kid that hasn't been to hibachi before, and they see the fire, they think everything's burning down.
That could be the end of it. The last visit.
Dude, maybe I was addicted to hibachi at a young age, dude. And not only is it really good, but damn, that onion volcano is something else too.
I love the jokes that they do. Like and when I hear one of the hibachi chefs do their own
new joke? A new joke. I appreciate new jokes.
I appreciate it. So, like I like the one that they go when they pour the soy sauce on there. They go Japanese Coca-Cola, and I'm like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Like I like it, and they're like,
it's pretty damn good.
There's some fun.
Man, we've hit a lot of damn good stories. Stories never die here on the Bonifay Banter.
Stories never die.
But Joey, damn man, this has been a hell of an episode, man, huh?
Good stuff, yeah. We covered a lot. It was good.
We've dude,
appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, man, it's been fun, dude. You're definitely gonna get back on another episode of the Bonifay Banter, and man, after looking at your whole body of work from the covers you've shot and the experiences and memories we've had and like the companies you shot for, you've really shot a majority of like wakeboarding culture kind of like in the heyday of like pointless and stuff, man. And we love you, dude. Glad you came on, dude. And it's impressive and how you just keep on evolving, taking chances. And, where Joe's going to be in 10 years, I don't think anyone fucking knows. I don't even think Joey even knows, man. And that's a beautiful maybe thing about it.
We'll see. Appreciate you having me on. Yeah, love you guys. And thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
Thanks, Parks.
Man. We love you, Joe. And we're actually going to give away the melon hat for the Joe to Zane Schwenk. And Zane, you get a Pilot Circle sticker as well. Appreciate all the Patreon members signing up and backing us and getting behind us in this early stages of the banter. Yeah. And
like and subscribe, comment, do whatever you can. We hate saying it. I hate it. I feel
but he's right. Shane's right. Like it'll help the algorithm out. It'll blast it out there.
And subscribing doesn't do anything besides, you subscribe on the podcast or on Spotify. All it does is just let you know, hey, new episodes available.
It's coming out.
Yeah. But
all right. Well, to wrap this up, we're going to actually show, and I actually wanted to show this like earlier in the episode, but because this really shows whole body of Joe's work. This is called 20 Years of Joe, or 20 Years of Photo by Joey Meddock. You can, what is it, Joe? Yeah, give us a little synopsis on
this. Yeah, it's 20 years of photos, less than 4 minutes, I think.
Nice.
So it's like I did a bunch of, it's not everything obviously, but a bunch of my cover shots, a bunch of advertisements. And then a bunch of just like lifestyle stuff, a bunch of selfies. Thankfully, I made that so I could have like an archive of it. So
standard Wake Journal. You see I watched it and I was like, damn, I forgot how much you fucking shot, Joe. It's pretty impressive. Your body of work's all wrapped up kind of into that, man. Really fun to watch. But I'm gonna let's take the YouTube episode out with that, man. And if you're listening on Spotify, make sure you check this out on YouTube because we're going to lay a bunch of a lot of the photos and a lot of things we talked about, and as well this 20 years of photo with Joey Meddock to see what it's all about. Joey Meddock, Shane, love y'all.
Thank you so much.
Episode 5 in the books. Cheers to that, boys.
Thanks, bros.
Love y'all. Thank y'all coming out. God bless you. Good night.